Welcome in to Middays with Marks, the voice you trust. Not here today. Johnny Marks with the day off, taking care of his daughter. We look forward to seeing Johnny tomorrow to get you ready for Lions and Eagles. And we have just nothing to talk about today, obviously, with what's going on with the Birds. I'm Ray Dunn. I'm sitting in the chair for John today. Amy Fadul with us today. Amy, how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well, ready to start the day and spend the next couple hours with you.
Yes, and excited for 4 hours of A.J. Brown, because last night we were both in the same newsroom.
Yes, we were.
As that was all going down. He steps up to the camera, he steps up to the locker room scrum, and it's like, oh boy, what's this guy got for us? We are going to give you the breakdown of that presser. I got three big things that we're going to get to in the next segment, listening to what he had to say. I will sum up the way I think a lot of this fan base feels by playing something Nick Sirianni said that we carried live for you yesterday. Sirianni, after maybe the 15th question about A.J. Brown and his presser, had this to say about the way he feels about answering A.J. Brown questions.
Yeah, guys, I'm close to being done answering these questions with this. Like, he's working hard. He is a big part of this game plan, and it'll be a big part of the game plan going forward. He's working like crazy when he's here, and I'm excited to have him.
Oh, no kidding. You're excited to have him. The alternative is not. And that's the biggest thing leading into the trade deadline, when there's all that conversation with it. I understand he only had 2 catches, only got 3 targets. That third target was kind of fake in the Packers game because it never should have happened. You're better with A.J. Brown. You still need A.J. Brown, the whole thing. So and any conjecture about not having him, to me, is a non-starter. The issue is where they go from here. And I have decided this is how I'm handling the situation going forward with my own personal reactions. Because I want to ask you the question today at 610-632-0975 of how culpable the Eagles are in this situation. A.J. Brown's an adult. He is in charge of his own actions. So he's driving me nuts with the social media posts.
Because you knew it was coming.
Yeah. John made the joke earlier this week. He's like, yeah, he's going to pop on LinkedIn next. And it wasn't LinkedIn. It was Twitch.
It's close.
I had him for TikTok. I'm still waiting. Next week, TikTok. Him, Jared McCain, both complaining about their usage in the offense. That's what's coming up next week. That's the post I need.
Both will be smiling during it, too.
Of course. Absolutely. But it was very predictable that we were going to get the social post this week.
Yeah.
But these are the terms in which I am going to apply to the A.J. Brown situation the rest of the way. He is currently 50th in receiving yards in the National Football League. 50th. A.J. Brown. Names in front of him include Trey Tucker. Who?
Exactly. People right now, if you know Trey Tucker, you don't.
You're in too many fantasy football leagues.
Exactly. That's what I was just going to say. I was like, he is on your bench somewhere as like an injury replacement for a backup.
Kendrick Bourne is ahead of A.J. Brown. Kayshawn Boutte. There's a man named Boutte ahead of A.J. Brown in receiving yards in the National Football League. He's 50th. The last 3 seasons, he was 17th a season ago. We had all the conversations about whether or not they could pass the football in the middle of the season. He was 5th in 2023. He was 4th in 2022. The way I'm looking at this going forward, he is 142 yards from being in the top 25 in football in receiving yards. For every week that he remains outside the top 25 in receiving yards, he gets 1 social media post. And I'll say, well, that's just the way he's expressing himself. That's
because that's what
where
it
I'm
has
at.
been. The beginning of this, obviously the very beginning of the season when we first had the vague social media posts with the cryptic, I thought, well, this is how he vents.
Yep.
And I get it. He's frustrated. He had no targets, basically, for lack of a better way to say it, in the beginning of the season. Then there was a couple more, and then there was that one game where he had all the targets in the first half and then nothing in the second half. I get it. But each week you do going in like, in what way will he get mad this week? In what way? This is the most verbal, obviously, that he's been, because he literally said it as opposed to posting something.
Yes. And, again, he's an adult. He's in charge of his actions here. This is the way he has chosen to express himself. Thus, all the questions, everything that we're talking about is justified because he's the one expressing himself in this way. When he says after the game, or excuse me, it wasn't after the game, it was last week leading up to the game, when he's asked if he wants to be here, he's like, what have I done to suggest I wouldn't want to be here? That question's justified. You can have the answer you have, but that question's justified based on the way you've acted. You've deleted every single nice tweet about Jalen Hurts. You posted cryptically after a game where he had 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. You're now popping off on Twitch. I had to learn who Jenky Rondo is. That's where I'm at.
Saw that.
But I'm saying I'm willing to put up with this because this condition forces the Eagles offense to address this problem. If you are to do something special this year, A.J. Brown needs to be bought in, and A.J. Brown needs to be a part of it, okay? The reason why you don't move on from A.J. Brown is because the talent he is. The fact that you have been able to work him into this offense at a high level consistently is absurd. And it's a failure on multiple levels for multiple people. So that's why I'm giving you this condition. You're 142 yards away from being top 25 in the National Football League. Right now, he's 50 at the receiving. So it's going to take a couple weeks, even if he has a couple big games. But this is forcing the hand of them to have big games. A.J. Brown, for me, will not be crushed for one social media post a week until he gets to the top 25 in receiving. Once you get top 25 receiving, they did their job. They started to get your season on track. Now everyone's about winning. We all fall in line.
The cryptic messages
that
did
ends.
their job.
All the social media stuff ends. But I'm allowing right now. This is what I'm saying. Going forward, from this moment forward,
He gets one.
he gets one per week until he's in the top 25 in receiving.
Yeah, I mean,
That's my official line. I'm
he
drawing
can
in
get
the sand.
whatever he wants. I mean,
Yeah, but he won't get complaints from me.
okay.
That's where I'm coming at for myself.
That's you. That's your.
Yes, because it puts some on this offense to get him involved.
Well, and you would think that should have already happened, and
Right.
it seemingly did, but it's only
Once.
happened for one game. Exactly, that one game. And there was a comment. I think it was yesterday. It was when I was listening to Nick Sirianni right here on these radio airwaves.
That's right.
He talked about how they have been consistent at times with the offense, and I thought, no, you haven't. The Giants game, maybe you could say that, but I mean that's the Giants. So I think that those two are tied together for me. Until you have a consistent offense, you're not going to be able to get A.J. Brown involved. You can't have one without the other.
That's where me saying this about him getting to the top 25 receiving in the National Football League, some of the onus has to be put on the Eagles.
Yeah.
Not all of it. I'm not saying all of it. But there is a piece of this where the Eagles are culpable in the situation that we're now in. And it's Eagles offensive coaching staff, the quarterback, everyone shares a piece of the blame. We can all be annoyed at what A.J. Brown and the fact that we're talking about more social media stuff from him. We can all be annoyed there. But I'm curious for you. It's 610-632-0975. How much do you place on the Eagles for where we're at right now? This coaching staff for where we're at right now? Mm-hmm. Because ultimately, his lack of involvement in this offense has led us down the path that we're currently going. And I want to know from you just how much you think this coaching staff is to blame for where we ended up right now with A.J. Brown. And coming up, we're going to get to what A.J. Brown had to say. And I'm going to put my Colin Cowherd hat on in the sense of we're going to go where A.J. was right, where A.J. was wrong, and also where A.J. had a point. We'll break down some of the audio from that presser coming up in the next segment. We got Patricia Caputo producing the show today, Amy Fadul alongside myself. I'm Ray Dunn in for Johnny Marks here on Middays with Marks. And coming up, we'll break down everything going on with the A.J. Brown situation, his presser from yesterday when he met with the media in front of his locker. And we'll get to your texts and phone calls at 610-632-0975. I'm Ray Dunn right here. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. Middays with Marks here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm not John Marks. I'm Ray Dunn hanging out with you. Amy Fadul with us. Patricia Caputo producing the program today. Opening up, talking about what we've been talking about last month.
Yeah. You can go further than that.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I think the ninth circle of Dante's Inferno is a lifetime of A.J. Brown disappointed with a winning team's offense conversation.
Yeah. It's, from the outside, it's funny because you talk to people from the outside and they're like, isn't it weird you have a wide receiver that's so upset with your team that's, leading the NFC? Like, yeah, it is and it isn't. Like, it is. I get it. I get what you're saying, person from not Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But it isn't if you actually think about it.
No, I'm not surprised at all.
No. I mean, we're not surprised, but people on the outside shouldn't be surprised either. Because if you actually dive into what some of the issues are, there have been issues with this offense.
Right.
Issues with the offense in the Packers game. We obviously all know that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's manifesting itself in a very, very public way, I guess I should say.
Yeah, and that's the way he's decided to go about this. And it drives me nuts, but I think that there is at least a reason, and it gets the people fired up. You can hear it right there. People getting fired up over it. It gets the people fired up over this. It drives me nuts because ultimately, when it comes to the A.J. Brown situation, he's an adult. He's in control of these posts. He could stop it if he wants. He's chosen this outlet. With that outlet comes the responsibility of having to answer questions about it, and you're putting the onus on everyone to answer questions. So when Sirianni's annoyed about 10 questions at a presser, A.J., that's you to answer to him.
Correct.
But on the same token, and the reason why I say I'm taking a social media post from him every week until he's in the top 25 in receiving yards is because there's also a part of this that this offense, head coach, offensive coordinator, quarterback, all have to have a concerted effort to get him the ball. It's not this receiver is greedy. It's this receiver deserves to be in this offense. This message being delivered after a 10-7 win is important because they only scored 10 freaking points.
And the touchdown was late.
Did anyone enjoy watching that offense operate on Monday night?
I mean, operating is a strong word. Functioning.
It operated the way my O2 Avalon operates. All right? It got the job done, but it was not pretty. It looks like me driving around my 2002 Toyota Avalon.
It's
like gross.
It's working.
Yeah.
But is it?
All right. So AJ spoke yesterday. And this was one of those stop what you're doing and go stand around the monitor type of pressers because everyone was interested in what he had to say. We have three different cuts from it. I want to start where he was right. So AJ, at the midst of his presser, explained the root of his frustration. Let's start with that.
It's not about we're not winning or I don't care about winning. All I care about is stats. No. It's been week after week sometimes. We're not contributing. We're not doing our job on offense. So you can't just keep slapping the Band-Aid over that. And if you expect to win late in the year, you think you're going to go to it at the end of the year. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. And last year, what it was, thank you for the ring, but it's a new season. They adapted. We have to adapt, and we have to continue to, get better and try to find new ways. So that's where the frustration comes in because it's not about winning, you guys. I want to win, yes. I want to help contribute as well, do our thing on offense as well. I think that's fair.
I think it's fair.
It is fair.
I do. I do think it's fair.
Because people can have a lot of issues with A.J. Brown, talking about or having these cryptic tweets and social media posts after he did get 2 touchdowns. You could have your own opinion about that. You can have your own opinion about the method to which he's voicing his frustration. But what he said just there, I don't know how you can have a problem with it because he's saying, listen, this is not about me. He is a guy that's seen a lot of football, has played a lot of football, played a lot of high-level winning football. It's a Super Bowl, for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
He knows, and he said, it's not about last year. I know people want to go back because obviously he had some issues last year as well. But they were winning, and he understood. It seemed like at the end of the year, I get it. We're running the ball, fine, whatever. When the offense isn't working and he's not working, it's what what would be better is if you got maybe one of your top receivers involved. It's a simple statement, and it's factually true.
And at the root of his frustration is, you can keep winning, but if we don't have anything that we can hang our hat on, we're not going to succeed. And his point last year about the passing offense ended up being Saquon had an incredible season, but you get to those last 2 games of the year, NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, they needed the passing offense.
They did.
And it ended up being proven that was the way they were going to get over the top, was they needed the passing offense to be consistent. So he's got a point. I think it is a fair point to acknowledge your frustration, acknowledge why we sit where we are right now, and what you're looking for from your team. I think he's right in that regard. Where he starts to lose me in parts of this presser.
Yeah.
When they asked about being misunderstood, here's his answer.
I don't care if I'm misunderstood. Like, I stand up in front of it and fall on that sword over and over again. Like, it's about doing what we're supposed to be doing on offense. And if we are really in this business, we're trying to get better, we got to do what we got to do. And not just say, oh, it's about wins. So like, as long as we got the win, it's cool. No, that ain't what no, you cannot do that. Not in this league. We got to continue to get better. We got to do what we have to do on offense to help the defense, to help the special teams.
It's cool to say that you don't care about being misunderstood. Or it doesn't mean anything to you. I didn't like the phrase falling on the sword. You're not falling on a sword here.
Right.
No one's asked you to do this. You could do this privately. This is something that can happen within those four walls. And ultimately, coming out of those four walls, everyone has seemingly been in support of, or at least quietly in support, where it's like, this doesn't seem like it's becoming a bigger issue inside that room. It seems like everyone's just like, this is the way AJ could really expresses his emotions. This is the way he gets out the frustration that he has with what's going on. And everyone seems to be doing all right with it right now. But you don't have to take the avenues you have. To say you're falling on a sword, to me, it's a sword that you laid behind yourself.
Yeah, I think that when I listen to that, the falling on the sword is almost what he was doing right then. Is coming to, hey, you're misunderstood. Well, I'm falling on the sword by explaining myself and trying to, explain the offense. But that's a sword, as you mentioned, he put there.
Yeah.
So, yes, true. I guess you're kind of falling on it, but it's a sword of your own making. So that makes it. Of course, he did come around the end, and he said, a better offense does help all these things, which is true.
Which he has a point.
Yeah,
but I'm not like the first cut we played. I think he's totally correct.
Yeah.
There, I think he has a point, but he loses me in the beginning there when he talks about
says,
this is a sword he's falling on.
It's a mistake that he's created.
He was right in why he's frustrated. Where he has a point is in what he's talking about here about trying to get the offense better. Right. He loses me. He doesn't get my full support on that one. And the one where I just find him completely wrong is he's done this before. And he didn't do it in this presser, but he's done it before where he tells you he's a journalism major at Ole Miss and that he understands what the media is about. This was what he had to say about people being critical of him going on Twitch and I guess voicing his frustrations in that platform. Take a listen.
Because after the game, I said all the right answers. I still made a story. Right. In that moment where I'm just talking to my friend, having fun with my friend, I'm not apologizing for that. Like I said, because if you have eyes, you can see that. And so, it's not that I was throwing anybody on the bus. I'm literally trying to laugh through this though. But I'm trying to make fun of the situation and to try to get through it.
So that's where he's wrong. That's where A.J. Brown's wrong. After the game, sure, yeah, you didn't give us anything. We went and listened to what he had to say after the game. We're like, oh, all right.
Yeah, it was great.
He was fine. Yeah, all buttoned up, all together.
And then he gets on a streaming platform that is broadcast.
He said, and this is where you lose me, he said it was still made a story about him after the game. When you only have 3 targets as A.J. Brown, you're always going to be a story because you're that good. You expect a high-level production from you? So do we. We will ask the question of why you weren't involved in that offense. You were also a story because of the 4th and 6. That has nothing to do with your usage in the offense. So if you have an issue with that, then you're attacking a whole different argument here. And then he calls going on Twitch, which is streamed around the world.
Exactly. And it's not like he's going on with a guy that
nobody knows. Right. But
if you're interested in that kind of platform and using it, Rondo is popular on it.
If I popped up on Crossing Broadcast or a stream around here that talks about local media, and I went on there and I said something like, yeah, that Connor Thomas is an ignorant a-hole who I can't stand working with on the pregame show, and someone asked me about it, and I was like, well, I was just talking to a friend on the stream.
We were just on stream.
No, it's a story. It's a story. You called the offense a bleep show on a stream.
My favorite is at the end. He's just like, you guys have eyes.
Right.
we do, but when we say it, it's different than when you say it because we're not part of the offense.
That's the thing. That's the thing that you lose me here. It was made a story when I did the right thing. It was made a story because people are acting on your behalf to say, why isn't he more involved?
Right.
That's the story isn't A.J. Brown didn't handle himself well. The offense didn't get the ball to A.J. That's where the blame is being placed. post game on Monday night. That's what I don't understand why he looks at it that way. And then to say that he was just talking to a friend. Yeah, you're just talking to a friend. I could tell you, there's been days I've walked out of this place and I've called a friend, a family member, and I've been like, man, like the day at work I had.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
private.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone does that. If you don't do that at your workplace, you're internalizing too much. Go voice your opinions to someone you trust. We're the show you trust. Voice them to us.
Call us. We don't even care what you do. Just call us and let us know that you're not happy at work. But
That was where, because it was also near the end of the presser. That's where he lost me. Where
and
I was
I
like,
think that a lot of that was because it came at the end of the presser. Now he's, talked about his frustrations. He's voiced them. It's the 11th week in a row that he's talked about his frustrations and everything that he's gone through this season. I think is a culmination of that when he's talking, because the questions were just about if we're the Lions and we're in the Detroit locker room and Amon-Ra St. Brown only gets 3 targets, it's going to be the number one thing asked. It's the same thing, and I think AJ, if he really thought about it, would realize that. But because he's in it and because he's been asked these questions and he's voiced his frustration, it's just the perfect storm of of course he feels attacked, even though it wasn't about that. It was just like, dude, the outside is of course they should get you the ball more. We're talking about this in a positive way.
And and we'll tease this out coming up on the other side, because we also have Jalen Hurts talking about getting A.J. Brown involved. We're going to play that for you coming up. But we'll get to this idea, too, on the other side. Colby on the YouTube chat. Love Colby. Media is funny because they can't help but say A.J. makes it a story when it would be a story no matter what. Yeah, it would be a story no matter what. Coming out of Monday night, literally on the show sheet, I can pull it up for you guys. The original show sheet I sent over in the hours on Monday night to John, Nate, and Brandon. One of the bullet points said, something to the effect of, is AJ justified in all this? Because I was livid that he didn't get the ball more. It would have been a story, but it would have been a story on AJ's behalf. It's when you jump on the Twitch stream and then go after your offense and start making jokes at your team's expense that it comes back at you. We'll get to that coming.
It would have been on the Kevin Patullo offensive struggles kind of vein.
Right. So we'll get coming up. Jalen Hurts reacted to what just this week's been an A.J. Brown conversation. We'll get your reactions to A.J. Brown. Preston, ask you the question. How do you specifically divvy out the blame of where we're at right now in this conversation? Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, filling in for Johnny Marks here on Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Finding a steady offense. I'm Patricia Caputo with your Fanatic Sports Update. Week 11 of the NFL season begins, and the Eagles are preparing to take on the Lions Sunday night. The Birds have struggled to find a consistent offense this season, and A.J. Brown voiced his offensive concerns numerous times this week, but quarterback Jalen Hurts is ready to turn the page.
Got the Detroit Lions. I'm going to definitely put a halt to that. The more we drive that, the more of a distraction it becomes. And I think ultimately it's about the group. We are who we are as a team. We're all we got and we're all we need.
A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts will try to lead their offensive victory against the 6-3 Lions right here at Lincoln Financial Field Sunday night. In the NHL, Oilers defeated the Flyers 2-1 in overtime Wednesday night after the Flyers' game-winning goal was waived due to an Owen Tippett offsides call. The Fly Guys are off tonight, but will travel to St. Louis to take on the Blues at 8 p.m. Friday. In the NBA, Sixers are off tonight, but will tip off again at 7:30 p.m. in Detroit to take on the Pistons as Joel Embiid remains day-to-day with right knee soreness. This update is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store. Well, you'll find everything you'll need for the holidays, all under $35. Don't wait. Find a location at macy'sbackstage.com. I'm Patricia Caputo on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Middays with Marks. Well, should we call it Middays without Marks today?
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like the name kind of plays well for a day where he's not here. You could just kind of slip in the without. John will be back tomorrow.
He will be.
Yeah.
And then all next week.
He's eating ice cream today. Daughter got her tonsils out.
Yes.
So
in solidarity.
he said that he wasn't going to have any ice cream. I would be willing to bet that that's already been broken.
I mean, of course.
Who might not be back tomorrow is me, according to the YouTube chat.
Oh, wow.
We
You already
are-
got booted.
We are one update into the Patricia Caputo career,
Well done, Patricia.
and it is already far surpassed anything I've done in that chair.
You're going to get Wally pipped while you're here.
Yeah, no, this is actually
remarkable.
It is remarkable. I'm literally watching in real time as I lose my job.
Right, you were the one that mentioned this to me, though.
Yeah, no, I have kind of actually manifested this one. I made the joke because when she was training, I forget what you did. I was like, oh, she's going to end up taking my job someday. And it's become a running bit between the two of us until it's not a bit anymore and it's just reality.
It's a bit, right? It's a bit.
For now.
I don't know. I read the YouTube comments and
For now, it's a bit.
I got a, what was this? At unoriginal name. Nice knowing you, Ray. Back to weekend duty for you. So, I mean, that's it. I've already been replaced. I guess
paid that guy.
Oh, okay. How many people did you pay? What type of money you got?
I have a big Italian family, so.
All right, gotcha. Yeah, YouTube comments, very, very kind. Not kind. Well, they're actually pretty kind to me. I'm
You're
YouTube.
popular.
YouTube chat and I are pretty tight, so I shouldn't say they can. Me and them we're kind of tight, but it does kind of seem like they're like I'm the the Toy Story scene where it's like I'm not playing with you. Like it seems like they've already thrown me out. They're like we want to hang out with Patricia.
All right, Buzz.
Woody comes back, though.
Woody
They're
still is a
friends.
classic.
Yeah, am I a classic? At this age, I'm already a classic. I'm a relic.
In that booth, yes, you
Yeah.
are.
All right. Well, there you go. That's it. That's how I get replaced. Oh. Well, I guess I don't have to do the A.J. Brown
all right, there we
conversation
go.
anymore. All right.
All done.
So jumping into the A.J. Brown conversation, we asked just about where the blame is. How do you divvy it up and how we got here at 610-632-0975. And let's go to the text line. What do we got on the text line, Patricia?
All right, so we got some talks about Ferraris and minivans. Unnamed person from New Jersey. Imagine having Ferrari in the garage, and on special occasions with your wife, you decide to drive it from the garage to the end of the driveway, where you then get into your beater minivan and take that to dinner for the night out instead. Use the Ferrari.
It's hard for me to imagine that scenario, but I could see how someone in that.
We didn't even get to we didn't even get out of the driveway. You just went to the driveway and thought, this is what we're going to run with, and just that's a switcheroo.
I appreciate that analogy though, because it is kind of like
that.
that.
It was like a wife, not a girlfriend.
Yeah.
You're still impressing the wife, though.
Isn't that it's the 70-30 relationship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been following that. I like that theory. The theory that each person thinks they're given 70%, so that everything ends up happy. That's that example. I got a little romantic side of me on that one. Speaking of that, by the way, coming up at 12:40 today, we're going to play a game I'm very excited for. Red flag or not. And I'll explain more coming up later, but we are going to play that. I'm also bringing back a classic today. And this is a classic. 11:30, we're playing Rapid Fire with Fadul. I don't know if you saw that on your show sheet, but we're going to play Rapid Fire with Fadul.
When I flipped through and I saw it, I was like, oh, it's back.
It's back.
It went away for a little bit.
The segment that tens of people around the Delaware Valley were dying for. I was like,
wait.
We're bringing it back at 11:30. And also coming up in about 5 minutes' time, we're going to have James Palmer join the program from Bleacher Report, National Football Insider. I imagine we're going to ask him about A.J. Brown. But I want to quickly get you what Jalen Hurts had to say about getting A.J. Brown involved in the passing game. Because I thought for all that yesterday was, one thing that both guys did pretty well, I think, was address the situation. When it's evident that their relationship is not once what it was, this is a very easy situation for someone to feel petty and just bury the other one. A.J. did a good job not burying Hurts, and Hurts was asked about getting A.J. Brown more involved. Here's what he had to say.
I know you got to ask those questions, and I have a lot of respect for that. And I think my focus always gears back to what the group is doing and what the collective is. Obviously, A.J. plays a pivotal role in what we've been and what we've done, and so we just have to continue to grow with that every day. I know he's talked about having a growth mindset and embracing that, and so we just need that mentality as we go throughout this season and try and get to where we're trying to go.
Very PC answer.
Yep.
No surprise. I would love to know what it's like in those rooms, those offensive meeting rooms.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Is AJ super active? Is he, sitting over on the side waiting for his turn to speak, or is he just like, you guys aren't going to use me anyway? Like having been around him, not in the capacity that obviously the players are, but in certain capacities, it would surprise me if he's just like sulking. And I don't think he's that type of guy. But I want to know, like, what's the dynamic like?
So
what do those meetings look like?
yeah, and we got James Palmer coming up, so we're gonna get to that. It's hard for me to imagine a guy as outspoken as he is on social media
Right.
sitting in the corner sulking.
That's why I don't
and
think
like,
that he does that. But does he wait his turn? Is he like, all right, jumping in? Oh, here's a play. You know, that looks like it could be something for me. Or is
honestly,
it just like,
one of these days I hope he just
mad.
shows up with like a slideshow, and it's just every time he could have
PowerPoint.
gotten the football, it's just click,
it's all 22.
click,
It's all 22 film, and it just shows him running
Click.
wild free.
or just like, hey, here was a 3rd and 7. You called a draw to Will Shipley. Why? I'm employed by your football team. Cowardly draws. Way too many of them when you pay this much for this offense.
And because Jalen is so reluctant to speak out, I'm sure he's much more vocal in those offensive meetings when they're all meeting. And let's not forget, they all had a meeting earlier,
Yeah.
right? They all met earlier.
Yep.
AJ and Jalen and Saquon, they all met. I'm dying to know, is Jalen the same guy? Or does he get a little bit fired up and like, dude, just stay in your lane?
Well, you
I
know
don't
who's someone that might know a little bit about the inner workings of that team in the National Football League? That's James Palmer,
Palmer.
who's coming up next. We'll talk to him about everything going on in the NFL. We'll continue to get you ready. How do you divvy up responsibility for the situation that we're in right now? Talking about A.J. Brown at 610-632-0975. Also in the 11 o'clock hour. It wouldn't be a show I'm hosting if I didn't get a little baseball ranting in. I'll have that for you early on the 11 o'clock hour. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. In for Johnny Marks here on Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. Middays with Marks. 97.5 The Fanatic alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn in for Johnny Marks. I'm excited for tomorrow to look at this Lions game because, I mean, I could do it today and really poke the bear and let the guy at 2 o'clock lose his mind. But the Dan Campbell play calling element to all this week,
that's what makes it fun.
While we're talking about the struggles the Eagles offense is having, it's a nice little wrinkle into an old. From 10 to 2 a year ago, it was a fun conversation we had, the Dan Campbell, Nick Sirianni back and forth, and how someone doesn't see them as very similar. We might have found their one difference. And if Dan Campbell's team comes in here offensively and looks good with him as the play caller, and this team's still kind of stuck in the mud, could make for an interesting week of talk, and it'll make for a very interesting preview program tomorrow. I'm looking forward to breaking down everything with that game. Right now, we're breaking down a lot of what A.J. Brown had to say yesterday because it was one of those must-see pressers as soon as it happened. And luckily...
Because you knew it was going to be.
Yeah, luckily for Bird Sutherland and the good folks at NBC Sports Philadelphia, dumped out of that presser right before he used some language that's not FCC compliant.
That's the beauty of having everything on a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, beautiful work there over there at NBC Sports Philadelphia.
You can see everything. So when we get the feeds in, everything comes in obviously live, real time, and then broadcasting, there's a slight delay. So you can dump out when you hear him use a more colorful language.
Yes, which I think everyone around the Delaware Valley was using colorful language on Monday night watching that offense, so I think he's justified.
That I talked to, and they were like, at halftime, they debated on whether they turn the game back on.
My parents...
They're like, it's late, I don't know, it's boring. I was like, I kind of get it.
My parents are on vacation. I can assure you if my dad was in his recliner at the house watching the game, asleep.
Yeah.
And to bed at halftime. For sure.
Yeah.
That's the type of game it was. So we have a text Patricia put up on the board that's blaming the media and the offense.
Oh.
Only 5% A.J. Brown's fault. So I'm curious to get where the media comes in here. So what do you got for us?
Yes. So again, no name from Pennsylvania. I divvy out the blame. 80% the media beating the dead horse and 15% offensive performance, 5% AJ frustrated with his own production.
The horse isn't dead, though. That's the thing. That horse is up and running. Poorly, albeit a poorly run horse. It is not a dead horse.
So this is where, and I'll welcome this on the YouTube chat. I'll welcome this on the text line. And the phones, I see them. They work. 610-632-0975. You can call it. Because if you give 80% of the blame for this situation, some way, somehow, to the media, I want to know why. I want to know specifically if you think we should not react to A.J. Brown going on a Twitch stream and saying the offense is a bleep show. If you think that we should just that's business as usual. If someone from your work went to the media and said it was a bleep show, or went and was found public recording calling it that, wouldn't you have a reaction?
Of course you would. The thing is, and I understand that people are always going to be like, well, the media is going to make a bigger deal of it. At the end of the day, Jalen Hurts said it, and in that clip we played earlier, and A.J. Brown has said it previously. The media has a job. It is to report on what is happening right now. The opinion comes in for sports talk, at Twitter, on social media, people at home. That's what happens. But the fact of the matter is A.J. Brown has not been utilized to his full potential. I don't think that there's anybody in the history of the world that thinks A.J. Brown should be out of the top 25 in the NFL in receiving.
He's 50th,
That's
Amy.
out of control.
50th.
Out of control. So when you say it's beating a dead horse, no, that would be like last year. The dead horse example would have been like, well, you can't win with running the ball. That's a dead horse because they did. That horse, it's done. The conversation's over. But when you have it's actively happening, the horse is not dead. And single-handedly, even if it was, AJ's reviving it with his comments on Twitch, on social media, whatever. You have to talk about it.
Well, here's a media member that I want to hear talk about it.
He would never beat on a dead horse.
He is a national insider. His resume is so long a CVS receipt looks short. This man covers the NFL for Bleacher Report, works on a number of podcasts, including Scoop City for The Athletic, 89 with Steve Smith, and that's only scratching the surface. He made it look like 610 kids can go somewhere. Kids like me from the 610. He went up Marion. He is on the Comcast Business Hotline. James Palmer joins us right now. James, how are you today?
You know I'm never losing that 610. You guys are calling me right now on that 610
You
number.
gotta keep it.
It's never going away.
That's right. You have to keep the 610 number, though I'm kind of a fraud because my cell is actually a 484. But
Fraudulent.
I grew up in the 610 area. I can't fight it.
It's okay.
All right, James, I'm going to start with the conversation we've had all week. Seems like all month, maybe the last 2 months. A.J. Brown, the latest. He goes to the Twitch stream, addresses yesterday what he said. What do you make of the situation right now with A.J. Brown?
I think the Eagles should have watched A.J. play on Twitch. What did he have for himself? Like
Yeah, what
168
kind of
yards
play
and 2
calls?
touchdowns? He lit it up. Yeah, let's watch how A.J. runs his offense on Twitch. No, like it has come. Like, and I was having this conversation with Zach Berman on my show, who's going to be on my show later today, and who covers this team, I think, brilliantly in town. And we were both just kind of discussing, like, the comments of AJ should no longer be kind of the thing we are dissecting. Because I understand the frustration. Zach understands the frustration. Everyone should. Like, if you're outstanding at your job and your company has a lot of success, and that's great, but you work 6 days a week, maybe as hard or harder than anybody else in football when I ask people around the league, and then when it comes to time to perform, you're not utilized and you love what you do, I'd be frustrated too. Like, this should mostly be focused on why can't A.J. Brown get the ball, not what avenue of he is using to showcase his frustration. And I feel like our focus has been on that, whether it's a book or Twitch or cryptic tweets or all of these things. That's not really the story. I mean, the story is this team's trying to repeat as Super Bowl champions, and if A.J. Brown gets the ball, that increases your chances of doing that. And I understand the coverages. I understand the cloud coverage. He gets a ton of attention. So does Jamar Chase. So does Jackson Smith and Jigba. So does Justin Jefferson. And you find ways, and you create ways if you can. The Eagles are lucky enough that on the other side, they have, and this is no lie, I know he's appreciated in the building, but across the league, Devontae Smith is considered a number one in almost every single person's mind, the type of player he is. They're lucky they have that opposite because they can't find a way to get A.J. the ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing when you're thinking about it, James. It's the fact that you're dealing with a guy that, of course, he would be a number one in any other offense, but they already have another number one. So maybe it's just they walked that fine line too long, and now they just don't know how to function with it, because on paper there's no reason you should be able to share the wealth as much as they do, or as much as they could, but they don't seem to do it. Do you think that there is something, and I know the Packers game was probably the most egregious of the examples, offensively, just to maybe just do one other thing when you're watching that all 22, it just seems like there's a few more different things they could do in order to get AJ just a little bit a better look?
Yeah, I think that exists. Now, I do know in talking to people there, like, he is a massive part of the game plan. He's a focal point of the game plan every week. And I understand things change on Sundays. And after that first 15, you feel out the defense and you start to figure out what they want to do defensively and you start to make your adjustments. But any sort of easy completions, you got to have a handful of plays on your call sheet that allow you to just go, let's just get the ball in AJ's hands here. And we know that this is going to work. Those plays exist on almost every single offense. What I do think has happened a little bit is, like, they are so, like, focused on not turning the football over, and they're brilliant at it. I mean, they don't turn the ball over really, like at all. And that's great for their offense. And if you're running the ball brilliantly and the defense is playing outstanding, I understand having a little bit of that mindset. But I think being so turnover adverse kind of plays a little bit of a factor into how things are being called and played as a whole within the offense.
And that turnover adverse nature, it's obviously baked into everything, the fabric of what they do. But what do you see as the biggest reason right now that AJ's not getting the ball? Is it just that? Is it just simply that philosophy and that's keeping the ball away from him?
I think it's a variety of factors. I don't think you put your finger really on one thing. I think Jalen I think he has an understanding. I think this is one of his superpowers. I think Jalen Hurts has a really good understanding of what it takes to win a football game, and he doesn't really care what happens to win it. And I think sometimes that maybe makes him a little bit more error on the side of caution in terms of putting the ball in harm's way. And maybe, you have to start thinking a little bit like, well, if I throw it in AJ's direction, he's a big enough bodied receiver. He's a smart enough receiver. He's a good enough receiver. The ball most likely isn't going to be turned over, right? He's either going to catch it or it's incomplete, and maybe take that chance a little bit more. And then the play calling part of it, you still have Saquon Barkley. Like, you had explosive plays last year through the run game. And I think if they were happening a little bit more, and I think we saw it in the Packers game, there was a play or two where I was like, this was almost Saquon taking it to the house. And if that happens, I think our conversation about the offense is a little bit different. But that was such a luxury that they had a season ago that maybe there's a little bit part of this offense. I'm not in the meeting room, but, you're hoping that some of those, you hand the ball off and you go 70. Like, that happened a lot last year, and that helps your offense tremendously. And when that's not happening, you can stall a little bit. Yeah, the run game's been a little bit disjointed. But I do think there's a variety of factors that play into them struggling to get AJ the ball a little bit. And AJ brought it up. When he went against Pat Surtain one-on-one, he still could win. And even the Broncos, who play a ton of man, I live in Denver, shifted their coverage because of AJ. So it happens. It certainly does, the attention he gets. But I do think there's still ways that early in a game, certain completions, certain plays where against that coverage, you can find an easy completion to A.J. Brown. I still think those exist. I just think there's a variety of reasons in the way they're playing football and winning, by the way, are playing a factor into that.
Yeah, you always have to come back to the winning. I think that's at the end of the day. And A.J. does say it. He's like, listen, I know we're winning, but I think he's seeing some of the stuff, further down the road. Like, this could come back to bite you. But when you've covered a lot of football all over, a lot of different teams. Have you ever seen anything like this? A team that is in first place with a star receiver who is not getting involved for a myriad of reasons, and then is basically, you can count on it, just like clockwork, every single week that he's going to have some kind of comment about his lack of use.
Man, put me on the spot there. Like, I can't think
tried to, right?
Yeah, like right now. I mean, it's
a winning
hard.
team.
It is hard with a winning team. It certainly is. But I think AJ does understand the goals that this team has and understands that the situation that they're in. And he understands that in the postseason, this probably isn't going to cut it. I mean, when you started the question, I started thinking about the city I'm sitting in right now. Like, the Denver Broncos have one of the most erratic quarterbacks on the planet, yet they're 8-2, tied for the best record in football, mainly because they have a great defense, and they can't play football for the first three quarters. And so there's a ton of frustration for a team that just can't really put it together for four quarters, but they have 8 wins, and they're sitting atop the AFC West, blowing out the Chiefs right now before they play on Sunday. We'll see what happens there. But, like, there is frustration in that locker room. It's different, but I'll say there's guys on that defensive side of the ball that are sitting there going, like, our offense better put it together.
Yeah.
Like, we're carrying everything. So there's frustration in teams that are winning, certainly across the league. But specifically, this seems in Philadelphia designed more or less towards one player. But at the same time, like, he deserves the football.
Yeah.
Like, he clearly deserves the football. And I think everybody in that building understands that. I just think AJ isn't afraid to say it. And actually, I'm fine with him saying it, in all honesty.
Last one for you, because I know you got to run and we got to run real quick to take the conversation. We could spend, I think, and we'll spend probably a lot of time talking to A.J. Brown, but there's a game on Sunday. How you feeling looking at this Eagles-Lions matchup?
That's the most hilarious part about being the last question. I think they can throw the ball against this team. I really do. Like, I think with the secondary that Detroit has and how they've moved some pieces around and how they've had injuries back there, I think they can really throw the ball against this team. I really do. And so I think it's almost like lining up perfectly to see if that's the way you can beat a Detroit team that's very good in the trenches. Obviously, we know how good and complex their offense is, and now Dan Campbell's calling plays. I do, man, Jalen Phillips and that group up front.
Yeah.
If you knew what people are saying in the building right now about how that group is so vastly different now compared to what it was a few weeks ago, it's unbelievable. So I do think A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, like, that's how you win this game. And it's interesting when this is all our conversation about A.J. this week.
It's interesting, and now you give us a nice pivot point here, James. Always a pleasure talking
Thanks,
with
James.
you, and look forward to talking to you next week.
All right, sounds good. 610, let's go.
610, that's right. Showing out for the 610 right there. James Palmer from Bleacher Report, The Athletic. He does a ton of different things.
Absolutely.
Scoop City Podcast, 89 with Steve Smith. Let's continue with that conversation on the other side about this weekend being the weekend. Yeah. Does it have to be?
Yes.
Are we going to keep saying that every weekend? We'll get to that coming up. Always enjoy talking with James Palmer. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. Taking through Middays with Marks here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And I want to let you know, every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge. Because with FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores the first or last touchdown of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. So tonight, the game's going to be bad. It's a lot of primetime games stunk last weekend. This will be another one that stinks. Jets, Patriots, if you've been following the news up there in New England, Vrabel says they're just giving the ball to Trayvon Henderson a ton this week. Might not be a bad bet for an anytime touchdown. Probably could score the first touchdown or the last touchdown here because they're going to be running the ball out at the end of the game. And I think he might hit another explosive play at the start of the game. All you got to do is visit FanDuel.com/endzone. That's FanDuel.com/endzone for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus, the President of Pennsylvania. Opt-in, must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally amongst all eligible participants who made the correct first or last TD pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawal bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Finding a steady offense. I'm Patricia Caputo, and your Fanatic Sports Update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Despite wintry conditions and heavy traffic, holidays must go on. That's why Mercedes-Benz SUVs comes with the latest safety technology. Find incredible offers at the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. Week 11 of the NFL season begins, and the Eagles are preparing to take on the Lions Sunday night. The Birds have struggled to find a consistent offense this season, and A.J. Brown has voiced his offensive concerns multiple times this week, but quarterback Jalen Hurts looks like he's ready to turn the page.
Got the Detroit Lions. I'm going to definitely put a halt to that. The more we drive that, the more of a distraction it becomes. And I think ultimately it's about the group. We are who we are as a team. We're all we got and we're all we need.
A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts will try to lead the offense to victory against the 6-3 Lions right here at Lincoln Financial Field Sunday night. In the NHL, Oilers defeated the Flyers 2-1 in overtime Wednesday night after a Flyers game-winning goal was waved off due to an Owen Tippett offsides call. Fly Guys are off tonight and will travel to St. Louis to take on the Blues at 8 p.m. Friday. In the NBA, Sixers are off tonight, but will tip off again at 7:30 p.m. in Detroit to take on the Pistons. This update is also brought to you by Tulla Dew Irish Whiskey. Tulla Dew, when it's game time, it's Tully time. I'm Patricia Caputo on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
with March. You're tuned into WPEN, WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, in for Johnny Marks today. John will be back tomorrow, and we're starting out with the conversation that we've had plenty so far this season, talking about A.J. Brown and what he had to say yesterday. And that's the big thing for me. He addressed it yesterday, and I thought there were a few things that I liked from it. There were a few things that I sat there and I was like, come on. Falling on the sword that you set there for yourself. You're saying that the media is making a story out of it after the game. The story after the game was you didn't get the ball enough.
Yeah.
We agree with you. And that's the thing. To an extent, I'm bothered by what he's doing. But I'm so much more bothered by the fact that on Monday night, I'm sitting there at, listen, the game was on ESPN. I have YouTube TV. I had to go out for the game. All right, I'll say it. I was out. I was upset. I was watching the game at the bar. I'm not happy.
It's okay.
My old roommate's sitting there. He's livid, and he gets 10 times more upset than me. He's like, when are they going to throw the ball to AJ? And I'm like, I don't.
There was one time I was on Tuesday morning with Andrew and John, and we were talking about it, and Andrew brought up something, and I was like, I remember this distinctly. There was a play where I think it was a second or third down. AJ wasn't even on the field. And they ran the play, and I thought, and they called it was the jumbo package. And I thought, we're sitting there watching at home because I don't have YouTube TV. I have actual television.
Yeah, no,
I can
listen,
watch.
that's good, as you should.
And I was sitting there, and we just looked at each other, and Sean was like, is AJ not on the field? I was like, that's not true. Maybe he's on the other side, which is there's no world that he would have ever been on the other side. So, like, we rewound it. I was like, oh, my, he's not on the field?
No.
He's not on the field. Not on the – that to me was, like, as egregious as anything else. Not on the field on something for a jumbo package?
Not good. It's not good.
That said a lot.
Now, James Palmer says he believes this is a weekend that they get the passing game going against the Lions. They're going to need it. I mean,
The Lions can score.
We all do the, well, they can't play like that conversation, but legitimately, it's not about not playing like that. You have to find, like, a second gear anyways because of this team.
Right.
This is the matchup we all thought they were going to have to contend with in the NFC Championship game last year. No one's going to take away the parade, take away the ring, take away the trophy because the Lions collapsed and Jared Goff goffed in a big moment. But ultimately, we thought this was the collision course we were going to have a season ago, that they were going to have to put up points against the Lions in an NFC Championship
high-powered
game.
offense. You're not going to be able to run against them. You'll have to use the, the passing attack. That story still is going to unfold. It's going to be the same. We all know how many points the Lions can put up. In 6 of their games this year, they've put up 30+. They can really score. And there were still some questions in the secondary, obviously. But the most important thing is you have to give your defense a break at times. Landon Dickerson was like, I want to thank all of my defensive teammates. Yeah, I know you do because, the offense didn't do anything. Not that it's I'm not saying it's Landon Dickerson's fault. He was the one that just voiced it out loud. They all know. Nick Sirianni, first thing he said when doing the game ball, defense. Yeah, that's not a sustainable principle as far as an idea of how you're going to win games in the National Football League. It's just not.
We had this conversation last year after the passing offense comment going into the Steelers game, which was a game you didn't think they were going to be able to throw the ball.
I remember you and I were on, and I was like, of all the days to talk about unleashing the – does it really? And they did, and it was fine. But at the time, you thought, oh.
Yeah, and now this week, you kind of again find yourself asking, like, the squeaky wheel gets the oil or whatever gets the what's the
Grease. Squeaky wheel.
Yeah,
gets the grease. Or oil. Either way.
Anyone that looks at me knows this guy hasn't done an honest day's work in his life. All right, I worked at the back of pizza shops. Like, let's call it what it is. If you showed up to get your car serviced and I walked out, you'd be like, let me back this car out and go somewhere else. All right, let's call it what it is. I wasn't getting that saying right in the beginning. But in that notion, he is trying to get the attention of the offense, get the football to him. James Palmer says he believes this weekend that could lead to that. I know there is the idea of you don't want to do it to a detriment, but Jalen, I'm begging you. A 50-50 ball, you've been very comfortable doing it to Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Who, of all people on this team, I would not have picked him over A.J. Brown to be the 50-50 ball guy. I just look at the physique and...
Just the height alone.
Yeah, height, strength, whatever you want to go with. Devontae Smith's incredible. He won a Heisman. He's been the greatest revelation of my life until Quinyon Mitchell, because I watched the Eagles draft a wide receiver, and he turned out good. Then the Eagles drafted 2 corners in the first 2 rounds, and they both turned out good. So they've really changed a lot of my perspective on the way that they do things here. But the fact that A.J. Brown doesn't get the 50-50 ball opportunity more often, Jalen,
exactly.
I can't stress this one enough to you. Try it. You might be surprised by the result. And if you turn it over, you know what?
Yeah, I think that goes back to it. The lack of risk, the risk averseness.
So
let me know if that's a word.
yeah, the risk averseness loses its luster for me for one thing.
Because you can't score.
Because you're going 3 and out at the
Yeah,
highest
that's the thing.
percentage of football.
It's like I get that you don't want to turn the ball over, but you're not doing anything. You're not even moving the ball down the field.
You know what's a lot like a punt? An interception that goes deep down the field. All right? The same thing as the punt is the interception that goes 40, 50 yards down the field. It's the same thing. If you want to call the cowardly draw on 3rd and 12 because, we're just going to punt it away and be safe, guess what's the same thing? Just gearing up and chucking that ball down the field.
Yeah, but they just don't.
Can you see I still have residual anger from
Well, they
watching
did it
that
one
offense on
time
Monday
on
night?
the 4th and 6. Does that count?
No, God. Thanks, Amy.
I had to bring it up.
I was, but like to me, that's
still.
that's the biggest thing. Where and I get it. We're talking about 7-2 football team. I'm very happy they're 7-2. We're gonna get later on in the show. We're gonna laugh at the expense of a very notable Dallas Cowboys fan for the fact that he's accepted the Eagles are going back to back, and we'll talk about the fact that we're right now are being put through a timeline where we're not enjoying enough this 7-2 team. I can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah.
I know. Ultimately, I'm grateful to be talking about a team that's got Super Bowl aspirations, but this is the biggest thing with the risk-averse notion. This team goes 3 and out at the highest percentage of football. They are second in 3 and outs in all of the National Football League with this amount of talent on offense. If you are going to be content with punting the football as much as you have, you might as well try and air it out down the field with 2 dynamic number 1 receivers on your roster.
Seems so simple, and yet.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry that at the end of the season, the back of Jalen Hurts' football card might have 4 interceptions on it instead of 2. Like, he throws a good deep ball. Use it. That's all. That's all. And the AJ thing might go away. The 3 and out thing might go away. And, hey, the explosive plays that you just don't know where it is, maybe you'll find one. Maybe you'll find one. All right? That's all I'm saying. We're going to get to the text line, phone line 610-632-0975, because we got people that chimed in on the blame game of how we ended up in this situation with A.J. Brown. We'll get to that. Also, I want to get into two baseball things coming back. 2 things in baseball that are bothering me. The most powerful man in baseball and the damn awards. It's November 13th.
Yeah,
We'll get to it.
I don't.
We'll get to it. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, in for Johnny Marks here on Middays with Marks. Marks. Without Johnny Marks. Alongside Amy Fuel, I'm Ray Dunn. I love this song.
That's a great song.
I cut this when I worked in summer collegiate ball that one summer back a couple of years interning during college, and it was our starting shortstop's walk-up song. And I remember because he hit like 440 while he was with the team.
Mm-hmm.
So every time that I think I might have been conditioned that I just expected something awesome to happen, but like he had the whole walk-up to it too. He had the back going, like he was ready. He was. I mean, I think he was like a D2 All-American or something like that.
That sounds right.
But I think that I might be conditioned. It's a good song in itself. It's a great instrumental, too, to, walk out to anything. But I think I've just been conditioned to love that song because of that. And for all you that were here for me to reminisce on my summer collegiate baseball days, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you. We've been getting into a lot of Eagles early on here. We're going to transition to baseball in just a second. But we got a text that says all but 2% of the blame goes to the media for this A.J. Brown story. And what I've gathered is that we should not exist. That's what I've gathered, is that our existence is not needed. When A.J. Brown goes on Twitch, what we should do is ask how the Madden game went and see how he performed in the Madden game and judge whether or not he's good at Madden.
It was just a conversation with his friend, so we don't even know about it.
That's right. Yes.
And when he sends a tweet out, you just hit the like, and then that's it.
Amy, during the break, we're going to leave our mics on, and the two of us are going to have a conversation amongst friends and let it air.
No one will know.
Yeah, and it's just a conversation amongst friends.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a great point. Going forward, any bad take I have on the air was just a conversation amongst friends. And not something I should be held accountable for.
But Ray, you said this. I wasn't talking to you.
That was just a conversation amongst friends.
Yeah,
Amy, Patricia, these are my friends.
Talking to my friend.
John Marks, when he's in here, he's my friend. It's just a conversation amongst friends.
Yep. Didn't happen.
Now, if you catch me talking to Bill, there you go. I can be held accountable for that. That's not a conversation amongst friends. That's a conversation amongst colleagues. Let's go to the phones at 610-632-0975. Michael and Philly wanted to get on the AJ conversation. Michael, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Michael.
Hi, Michael. I think he's
going once.
Michael.
Going twice.
Oh.
Goodbye. Michael tried to get in on the conversation. All right, well, we'll get back to it. I want to get to two baseball things real quick. First up, the most powerful man in baseball, Scott Boras. Are you familiar with the Scott Boras GM meeting routine?
I mean, it's played out.
It's so beyond played out.
You know exactly what's going to happen.
This is the most powerful man in baseball. Every year when he gets asked about his prospective free agents, he shows you that if he didn't, one of those like, hey, if you weren't doing this, what would you do? He would try to be like Dr. Seuss or like a poet. He's a kid that cared a lot about English class, but realized by the end of high school that if he wanted to be a billionaire, he probably needed to care more about other classes. And I say this as someone that did well in English class. I know the way I speak. You wouldn't expect it.
No, I wouldn't say that.
That's very kind of you, Amy.
At all.
The audience disagrees. But here is Scott Boras showing you just how much he paid attention in English class.
There's no doubt that peace pursuers are primed to pay the power piper. You know, Pete picked a perfect period to play preeminently at a primary position. A playoff parched plethora will pounce to participate in the polar plunge.
So that's Scott Boras.
He was so excited to say that.
Talking about Pete Alonso's.
Do you think he wrote that in his notes app on his phone? Or I think he's old school. I think he took the pen and paper that is provided at the hotel room and wrote it out there.
He could have done that.
Because he had to use his phone for looking up words that start with P.
Yes. So that's Scott Boras talking about Pete Alonso's free agency. I just want you to think of that clip the next time we talk about Bryce Harper getting an extension. Because the man right now that has been in the middle of this Dombrowski-Harper back and forth is that guy. That's the guy in the middle of this. Right now, he is going to negotiate probably $1 billion worth of contracts this offseason. and he's spending time finding words that start with the letter P for his own entertainment.
And he got the chuckles that he wanted.
Well, he did.
He was so excited.
Well, you got it. Listen, if you're a media member, if I was covering him, I'd laugh.
Of course, because you want to get his story.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Scotty, you're so funny.
So funny.
Classic
Tell me more.
Boris. Classic Boris. Oh. So, yeah, I just want to point that out. That's the reason that MLB free agency takes so long is because that guy's researching words that start with the letter P to talk about Pete Alonso's free agency.
He's also seeing how much money he can get his guys.
No, I honestly...
My Ranger got him.
I honestly believe he spends November and December writing poetry, and then in January he shows up to do his job.
It is the longest off season as far as the contract negotiation period because it starts now and it does not end until spring training. Sometimes then not even. It's remarkable.
Speaking of things that take too long, last night we found out Christopher Sanchez got all the second place votes for Cy Young. My propaganda campaign didn't work. I'm not surprised. I failed all of you. I'm sorry. It'll happen again. What I really saw last night was an award show at which point I no longer care about the awards. Major League Baseball needs to move up this award season. It is November 13th. I've already gone through the Joel Embiid knee news cycle, okay? I have already seen a World Series victor be crowned, all right?
Parades.
I've seen the Flyers fan base decide that another goaltender is the guy. If I've gone through all of those news cycles, I don't need the MLB awards at all. They're way too late.
Way too late.
First night of the World Series, or the night before the World Series starts.
It's a regular season award.
Toss it there.
Yeah, that's when. Look what the NBA does. When the finals are happening, here we go.
There's
give
the
out our
awards.
awards. It's a regular season award.
I already saw Kike Hernandez troll Drake at the parade, and now I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess Skeens did have a good season. Paul Skeens has been in 35 TikToks on Livy Dunn's account since the season ended. It's time to give the awards sooner. I don't understand why we're doing this. Last night I got the notification. I was like, oh, I would have tuned into that if it was 3 weeks ago.
I don't understand why it's so. It's not like they're still tabulating the votes or trying to corner the market. The World Series, that was one of the best World Series in a while.
Yeah,
Let's be honest. It's a great World Series. People were interested because there were close games. Why wouldn't you try to capitalize on that? You know who's not paying attention? No one is paying attention to baseball right now. It's not baseball time.
No. Well,
it's football time.
Off season. The stove's hot. The award season's not hot.
The stove's
No, the stove's hot. I burnt my hand on the stove.
It's warming up, but the stove it stays on.
Yeah, I turned the stove on, and I might burn the entire place down, but that stove's on.
The stove's on for 4 months.
Stove's hot. But yeah, but what you're saying, like, nobody cares, especially about the regular season that ended up 6 weeks ago. Like, nobody cares. So move it up, please. Like, I want baseball to do well. Baseball's having a great moment right now.
They did.
Here's one way to do that better. Market the awards. The awards were on a random Wednesday night 7 weeks after the season ended.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Idiots. Idiots. You know who's not an idiot? Amy Fadul. We're going to play rapid fire with Fadul coming up. We're going to get to the text and your phone calls at 610-632-0975. How do you divvy up the blame with the A.J. Brown situation we currently find ourselves in? And then 5 questions with Amy Fadul coming up at 11:30. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn.
That's right.
Take you through Middays with Marks right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
With your Fanatic Sports Update, Week 11 of the NFL season begins, and the Eagles are preparing to take on the Lions Sunday night. The Birds have struggled to find a consistent offense this season. A.J. Brown has voiced his offensive concerns numerous times this week, but quarterback Jalen Hurts looks like he's ready to turn the page.
Got the Detroit Lions. I'm going to definitely put a halt to that. The more we drive that, the more of a distraction it becomes, and I think ultimately it's about the group. We are who we are as a team. We're all we got, and we're all we need.
A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts will try to lead their offense and team to victory against the 6-3 Lions right here at Lincoln Financial Field Sunday night. In the NHL, the Oilers defeated the Flyers 2-1 in overtime Wednesday night after the Flyers' game-winning goal was waved off due to an Owen Tippett offsides call. Fly Guys are off tonight, but will travel to St. Louis to take on the Blues at 8 p.m. Friday. In the NBA, the 76ers are off tonight, but will tip off again at 7:30 p.m. in Detroit to take on the Pistons as Joel Embiid remains day-to-day with right knee soreness. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Despite wintry conditions and heavy traffic, holidays must go on. That's why Mercedes-Benz SUV comes with the latest safety technology. Find incredible offers at Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. I'm Patricia Caputo on the home of the 76ers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It's only Thursday.
Feels like Friday.
Does it?
Kinda.
I mean, it's kind of your Saturday.
I don't have.
I guess Sunday?
I don't play that game anymore.
You only really get Sundays, right? Because it's like a day off, but you're always anticipating working the next day.
Yes, I don't.
Yeah.
There is no. What's
Yeah.
a day off? Day offs are overrated.
I agree. Our
keep working.
our now mutual coworker Brooke yesterday came up to me. It's like I'm starting to get the impression you don't sleep. I was like, it's true.
Sleeps for the day.
It's what took you a month. I think it's the look of me though. I think I do. I think I do give off a very this guy's tired. He hasn't slept in 3 days. Look.
That's not. I don't think that's true. We just know how hard you work.
Yeah, no, I think it's the look. I believe it was Pat Egan that said I aged like a president, given the start of my radio career to now, and it's hard to argue if you look at pictures of me when I started here and the pictures of me now. If you go look at the picture of my first day here, I look like an idiot. And I've spent the last 3 years proving that picture right. But
it's fun to look at those pictures.
yeah, no, I guess. I wish I took a better picture. I wish I had a different outfit on the first day.
Oh.
You know?
What were you wearing? Like a T-shirt?
No, I dressed like I was selling insurance for like the first 2 months I worked here. I was like, well, we got the insurance company downstairs.
Right.
I probably could have just swiped in down there and been like,
I'm here for my first day.
I'm going to sell a policy to you. I don't really understand it, so that was the best I could do of an insurance guy. I'm
going to sell you a policy.
going to sell you a policy.
All the insurance people out there are like, all right.
Yeah. Well, I said it earlier. This guy hasn't done honest day's work. I've got to live my dream here. I'm sorry. Patricia, before we get to rapid fire with Fadul, which I've gotten texts, people are fired up. People are ready for it. Speaking of text, get us a flavor of the text line here.
All right. We have a longer one, so I'll paraphrase it a little bit. But again, no name. From Pennsylvania. Why are we always talking about A.J. Brown? Why are people mad that he isn't targeted as much? Do we have this kind of reaction last year when Smitty and Goddard have almost the same type of target? Wouldn't it look like he is above all those players if they started forcing him the ball? Just asking before I call A.J. a diva.
So the way that A.J. is going about this, I mean, Goddard is a good tight end, and Goddard's having a really good season. I mean, in terms of the red zone, that he has been a difference maker for them there. So I don't want to take a shot at Goddard to uplift A.J. Brown. We've talked about Goddard over the years as being like fringe top 5 at times.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, it's always been the case.
Right. A.J., we've talked about potentially being the best receiver in football skill-wise before. We've never gotten to that point with Goddard. Goddard's always been like a high-end tier 2 to low-end tier 1 tight end. A.J.'s been tier 1, tier 1, tier 1. And Devontae is around that conversation of being a wide receiver 1. But as soon as you traded for A.J. Brown, Devontae knew where he was a 1A. Like, there was never a question who the alpha of that receiver room was going to be when A.J. Brown got here, which is why I don't think we had the same reaction to it. And to Smith and Goddard's credit, they haven't gone that way. And I don't want to make it seem like I've totally excused the ends in which A.J. Brown's going to. But at this point, A.J. Brown's going to these lengths to tell you that he is unhappy with the way the offense is going. It's time for you to fix this offense, because the longer that I have to sit and watch games like Monday night, the more that I have to think about the fact that I have not seen them I've seen them put together. I'll give them two complete games. Even though Minnesota, the first half offensively, you could kind of leave it, so it's not really a complete game. I'll give it one. You know what? What am I?
It's one game.
Yeah, what am I?
It's
Working for PR for the Eagles? It's the Giants game. It
was against the Giants.
Yeah.
A terrible team who fired their coach.
Right. You gave me one game. I start to see AJ's point. I didn't bring up the show sheet from earlier in the week, and that's on me, because I said I would from Tuesday. I sent this in the hours.
But we did. The thing is, part of that text said, like, we didn't have that conversation last year. That's not true.
Oh, we've had that conversation. Devontae Smith has lived in that conversation for like 3 years
This
since A.J. Brown got
conversation
here.
has been here. The conversation overall as an offense not getting on with the passing game is carried over from last year. And we didn't talk about it as much because obviously they were winning and Saquon was doing what he was doing. But the conversation was still there. They still had these conversations. That's what I guess I'm just a little bit, and this is not like made up stuff. It's not like reaching. You're not like, oh, I wonder if we could make something out of nothing. There's substance there.
Bullet point for our show sheet on Tuesday. How justified does A.J. Brown appear? I got to this point before the Twitch stream. This was after the game Monday night. I got home, And the bullet point says, how justified does A.J. Brown appear? Also, the first bullet point was, what the hell was that game? So you can see I put together a real tightened up show sheet for everyone when we get to it. But, I mean, that's – I think A.J. Brown's appearing more justifies this offense appears more off base. And that's why you have to start putting this on coaching. You have to start talking about whether the quarterback is taking the risks he needs to get the football to A.J. Brown. We could talk about what A.J. Brown's doing all we want. But when we start placing out blame, I would not go about the way he has gone about voicing his displeasure. But the more he continues to voice that displeasure and the more I'm displeased with what I get offensively, then I have to start to look at everyone else and say, okay, what are you doing so that we stop getting this result? And that's why I've come down today with he gets a social media post for every week going forward that he is not amongst the top 25 receivers in receiving yards this season.
He's 50th.
He's 50th. Trey Tucker's ahead of him. Exactly. All right. We're going to play rapid fire with Fadul here. You ready?
I'm ready.
We got a 30-second timer and a buzzer here. First question for you. Outside of A.J. Brown, the most interesting wide receiver that you've interacted with in your career?
Interesting? I'll go with, that's a hard one. Gosh, I don't know why this is so hard. Derek Mason.
Oh, okay.
Just because he was very personable. That's why I mean interesting. But there's definitely ones, I mean, interesting. You could say Deshaun Jackson. He was always interesting.
Yeah, you could say he was always interesting. You know, it's interesting to say that, and we'll wrap that one right there. Deshaun Jackson, we talked with Stan Waterman, who's the men's basketball coach for Delaware State, at Delaware State Temple. He said that Deshaun Jackson has the reputation of being the first one in and the last one out there at Delaware State. Like, the maturation to the coaching world
impressive.
has been really cool. Everything he had to say about him.
He was always good. He was always fun.
Yeah, he was
Derek
always a fun guy, but I don't think anyone ever said first one in, last guy out when he was on the Eagles.
No, maybe the opposite.
Yeah, well, now apparently that's the way he is. They were very complimentary when he was brought to Delaware State. All right, coming up next, you can hear one Knicks comment. Sirianni to AJ at the end of the game Monday night, or Castellanos to Thompson down in Miami over the summer.
I'm going to go Nick Castellanos to Topper.
Yeah.
I would love to know what that is. Is it just a stare down? I think it's just a stare down. I think it's a stare. Yeah. And then maybe like a parting shot.
All right. Next one for you.
Is it a wrong answer?
No, it's the right answer. It's the right answer. I agree with you on that one.
I got a buzzer.
Well, I tried to have buzzer there at the end or say that you were done the answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree. We're working on I'm working on the production
All right.
here. You know,
Production value.
This is new over. Yeah, we're working on it.
I'm still thinking receivers. I always had better interactions with like some of the defensive players.
Oh, interesting.
Pac-Man Jones would be my
that's good. Maybe I should have went most interesting player. Yeah. All right. Final Eagles question, rapid fire with Phil. Eagles player story we haven't talked enough about.
I would actually just brought him up a little bit, is Dallas Goedert. I feel like he's not gotten a lot of love for how well he's playing and how healthy he's been. That has been one of the biggest things in the offseason, every offseason. Can Dallas Goedert be a top 5 tight end? He can if he stays healthy. He's done that, and he's been a real productive member of this offense, which is saying something because the offense hasn't been productive.
Productive in the red zone. That's a lot thanks to him.
That's all that really matters.
All right. Fourth question for you. How concerned is Amy Fadul over Joel Embiid?
Oh.
Sorry, had to do it.
This is tough. The good news is there was no structural damage, but that doesn't, to me, it's just like, well, that just means you don't need surgery. Yeah, there's concern because it's the other knee. And when you start compensating for the one, we all know what can happen. So there's always a concern. But I'm going to hope springs eternal, except for when it.
That's a Kentucky football line, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hope springs eternal.
Yes, and historically Kentucky football.
Does not. So the hope is just a trickle, and then you're in the drought that is Kentucky football. But
all
they
right.
beat Florida.
Last one for you. Yeah, that's a big accomplishment this year.
Listen.
I open myself.
Fight.
Yeah, I open myself up to criticisms you could levy right back at me. I mean.
No. We'll talk about your program later.
Yeah. All right. Over under 1.5 outfielders from the 2025 Phillies in the 2026 opening day lineup. You would expect they're going against DeGrom, against the Rangers, so a right-handed pitcher on the mound if that impacts your answer.
It does. I'm going to go with under.
Whoa!
Yeah, I really wanted to say 2, but I don't think so. Of course, you set the line at 1.5.
Well, yeah, it's a good line.
There's not a half a human out there. Come on, Ray.
It's a good line.
It's a perfect line. Yeah, no, I think it's under. I think it's just 1.
Interesting. All right.
From guys that were here last year, I think that it's just the 1.
So with that question, we're going to use that to segue into what we're getting
Gators
into
probably.
next. Because we got a dispatch from Matt Gelb earlier this week from the general manager's meetings talking about that outfield, the future of it. We know one right-handed bat, Nick Castellanos, won't be here next year. Harrison Bader's a free agent. There's one thing in that story that leads me down the path of you have to consider paying what it would cost for Bader. We'll get to that coming
You do
up.
have to consider it.
And we'll consider it coming up. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, take you through Middays right here on Middays with Marks right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And I want to let you know that every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge, because with FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. If your player scores the first or the last touchdown of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. I told you earlier. Patriots, Jets, New England finally beat a good team. Now they're playing a bad team. Aaron Glenn's upset this week, calling out the New York media for reporting injuries as if that's something brand new to the sport that he's never experienced before. Patriots going to win this one and win it convincingly, and they're planning to give the ball a lot to Trayvon Henderson. I'm telling you, put him in for the anytime touchdown score. If he scores the first or last touchdown of the game, you win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. All you got to do is visit FanDuel.com/endzone. That's FanDuel.com/endzone for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Player game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus the President of Pennsylvania. Opt-in must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally amongst all eligible participants who made the correct first or last TD pick. Bonus issued as knowledge all bonus bets which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Flyered up.
Black.
Yeah, love me some pucks. Tough one last night for the Fly guys.
Yeah, that Owen Tippett. That's
That was brutal.
that's gonna haunt you.
That was brutal. It was one of those two that, like, as they called it, I was like, no way. And then they showed the replay. It's like,
You're like,
yep, that's
that's a good
offsides.
call.
I'm not exactly the leading hockey expert on this station, but even I was like, that's obvious. That's clear.
not good.
I don't even need to check a rule book. There's no Googling needed there. That was offsides to a T.
Yeah.
So that was brutal. What's this now? 2 games where they've had the game winner waved off?
Yeah.
I also, every game that I've worked so far where they've played has gone into overtime or a shootout. So
Isn't that fun?
I always get the all-important point is really what it comes down to. I will let everyone know. I mean, you got to get the point. You got to get the point. You can't, especially at home, you can't. Playing in your own barn, you can't.
You can't give away that one.
Well, you
special
can't. You really don't want to give away either of the 2 points, but you got to get the all-important point, and that's what they did last night. They did that against a good Oilers team.
Very good. Connor McDavid, obviously.
My doppelganger, according to our old program director, Chuck D'Amico. Chuck believes that Connor McDavid and I look alike.
Really?
Yes. Now, this is when I had a bit more of the beard. I mean,
Yeah, I
the
was gonna
scruff,
say.
the scruff for me, and we're going to get back to the Phillies conversation I want to have in just a second. For me, it's coming a little bit darker than, like, right now, it's not the full, like, ginger red hair look. But usually, I kind of give the McDavid look. I've been told to move to Edmonton, that I'd be wildly popular there because I have the McDavid look. I don't know. I'm not going to. It's not on a list of cities that I would move to. There's a short list. Edmonton is probably about 6 lists away from my short list.
You guys look like you could be related.
All right. I'll take that.
Yeah.
He's the greatest of our generation.
I
Yeah.
could see that.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
This particular one.
Yeah. All right. To the Phillies conversation that I want to get into here with this outfield. So Matt Gill wrote about the outfield the other day, and Justin Crawford will be here to start the season. That seems like all but a guarantee at this point. He wrote as such. The issue of whether he's a center fielder or a left fielder is a big one. Dombrowski continues to talk him up as a center fielder. Pretty much anyone else that you talk to and you kind of read the tea leaves of where they played him in the minor leagues has shown pause there. It's funny. Dombrowski pumped up the prospect we know nothing about, but took a shot at the superstar that we all like. It's a good dichotomy.
I like it.
But he believes that he's a center fielder. I believe that that's nuts. I think that they're going to end up, if they don't bring back Harrison Bader, they'll end up with a left-handed bat in center field that I feel uneasy about and would prefer to be in left field.
Yeah, I
whether
think
that's
that-
Justin Crawford or Brandon Marsh.
Okay. You don't feel as good about it, or you just feel
I don't feel
wishy-washy?
I feel wishy-washy about both in
Okay.
center. I think Marsh is a corner outfielder, fine glove. As a center fielder, leaves a bit. He's a fine glove in center field. He's above average in the corners. In center, he leaves a bit to be desired. I don't love the way he plays the ball off Monty's angle.
Yeah, that's always tough.
And Harrison Bader, for a guy that played here for 2.5 months, figured it out better than any guy I've ever seen just come here and pick it up, especially considering the center fielders I've watched over the last couple of years. So I want to do the quick Harrison Bader conversation here because this was an interesting part of the Gelb story where he gets to the right-handed bats and the lack thereof in terms of availability. Across baseball, everyone's looking for a right-handed bat in the outfield. That's like just pretty much where
And I can
we're
tell
sitting.
You look at the market.
There's not a lot. Last season, there were only 26 players who hit right-handed, played at least 60% of their games in the outfield, and accrued 400 plate appearances. It was the fewest in a non-shortened MLB season since 1968.
Wow.
The league had 20 teams at that point. That's a line directly from Gelb's story. He goes on to write, 2 of those 26 players ended the season on the Phillies roster, Castellanos and Bader. Castellanos will be gone. Bader looks like he's going to be out the door. That's a concern. And one of the big reasons why I consider it, and I know everyone wants to shut it down because he had a career year, it's going to cost you more than it is, he's another guy in your 30s. I get the reasons why you don't bring back Harrison Bader. I really do. The reason you consider it is because you are going to roll Justin Crawford out there in left field. He is going to be a light-hitting left fielder. You are going to lack pop in the outfield. You are going to get the best version of Justin Crawford is a guy that balances this lineup in a way that everybody wants, where he's not all about power.
Right.
He's hitting the ball on the ground. He brings some speed. He brings that dynamic. He brings what you would want in a center fielder. The best version of Harrison Bader is probably close to the best of what you're going to get in the corner outfield market, where it's a right-handed bat that now at this point in his career is sold out for pop. And even if you don't believe he is what he was for the tremendous 6 weeks he had after the slow start here, he's right around the options you're going to get at right-handed bats, and he gives you a surefire thing defensively in center field. I understand you're concerned about injuries.
Yeah.
There's concern about injuries. There's concern about age, how much you're going to pay him coming off a career year. I got that. Right now, this team, the way it's built, we're looking at 100th percentile results. You are building for 100th percentile results. You're not building for, well, maybe in a few years this could work out this way.
That's the thing.
If something bad happens for this team next year and it derails it, there you go. You're putting kind of the nail in the coffin of this era. Like, I'm building for 100th percentile outcome where everything works for you and it works out for you in the next 2 seasons. And
that's how you're building the team.
Right. That's how I'm looking to build a team, which is why I have to consider it and why I think we haven't given enough consideration as a fan base to bringing him back, because I think everyone sees the downside of it, and I see the downsides of it too. I also see an outfield where the right-handed bat is like, I think Rob Refschneider was the name that was dropped in here by Matt Gell, but it's like, yeah, that's not exactly moving the needle for me.
No.
And you look at right-handed bats just across Major League Baseball that are available.
It's not good.
Randall Grichuk. Where else we got? Starling Marte.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy Pham. Austin Slater. Lane Tom. Like, these are, I'm reading, Matt Menard did another tremendous job putting together the Spot Track free agents list here for us. Like, just reading down the right-handed offensive bats that are there. Like, that's why I know it concerns you, and I know it terrifies you, and I'm not telling you it shouldn't. But given the defensive upside, and given the fact that where you find a right-handed bat isn't necessarily obvious, I think people have to open their minds a little bit more to this. Now, maybe the door's shut. Maybe the message was really a goodbye message and not just a, hey, we're
I read that thing a couple times. Maybe he's just like wrapping it up, but the timing of it is very odd.
I think you drop that as a, oh, yeah, we're out,
Yep.
We're gone. I would do that.
Or do you still want me?
Yeah, well, it's like, I had so much fun here. Thanks for all the memories. Everyone goes, wait, is it over?
Whoa. We don't want it to be over.
Yeah, wait, hey, Dombrowski's, one of his assistants picks up the phone, calls the agent, hey, you guys got traction somewhere?
Are we,
Yeah.
Are we in a bidding war, or are we still in, do we have a seat at the table?
Let me put it to you this way. With all due respect to Harrison Bader, who I just showed a lot of respect for, Major League Baseball offseason doesn't start with the Harrison Bader signing. All right, there's a lot of teams that financially.
No one is making an alliterative, kind of soliloquy about Harrison Bader.
No.
They might give a little, maybe a limerick.
Maybe
not a.
I grew up near Limerick.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
it's a fun story.
It is.
Is that the 610?
It is the 610.
I know it is.
Limerick, Pennsylvania.
I know exactly. There's
Limerick
lovely
Power
outlets.
Plant.
There's lovely outlets out there.
There are. Yes.
Lovely outlets.
Yes. Almost lived in Limerick. Didn't, though. Oaks. Grew up in Oaks.
Yeah,
that's what you're asking.
Yes. But that's what I was wondering. I was sitting here wondering exactly what it is. Could you give us your address?
No, I couldn't. All right, coming up, news at noon. But I'm not doing the news at noon today. This is always an interesting thing because it used to happen way back when I would fill in on middays when we did the vault.
Yes.
And Andrew would be sitting here in this seat, and I'd be doing the vault, and it'd be like doing the segment that the producer does in front of the producer. Patricia's already taken my job, according to the YouTube chat. With the good news at noon, I might turn in my key card by 1 o'clock.
Might be it.
Stay tuned. It's the news at noon with Patricia Caputo coming up alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Finding a steady offense. I'm Patricia Caputo with your Fanatic Sports Update. Week 11 of the NFL season begins, and the Eagles are preparing to take on the Lions Sunday night. The Birds have struggled to find a consistent offense this season, which was apparent in their 10-7 win against the Packers Monday night. A.J. Brown has voiced his concerns multiple times this week, but quarterback Jalen Hurts looks like he's ready to turn the page.
Got the Detroit Lions. I'm going to definitely put a halt to that. The more we drive that, the more of a distraction it becomes. And I think ultimately it's about the group. We are who we are as a team. We're all we got and we're all we need.
In the NHL, Oilers defeated the Flyers 2-1 in overtime Wednesday night after a Flyers game-winning goal was waived due to an Owen Tippett offsides call. The Fly Guys are off tonight and will travel to St. Louis to take on the Blues at 8 p.m. Friday. In the NBA, 76ers are off tonight but will tip off again at 7:30 p.m. in Detroit to take on the Pistons as Joel Embiid remains day-to-day with right knee soreness. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Despite wintry conditions and heavy traffic, holidays must go on. That's why Mercedes-Benz SUVs come with the latest safety technology. Find incredible offers at the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. I'm Patricia Caputo on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Welcome back in. Middays with Marks without Marks. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. 12 o'clock hour here is brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. In a second, we will have the news at noon. Before we do that, I want to let you know you listen to WPN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. Now, a big moment here. Patricia Caputo, as this is your first air shift?
First time, yeah.
Okay, so first air shift for Patricia, which is incredible. I mean, she's knocked out of the park for the first 2 hours here, doing a tremendous job. Look forward to seeing just everything you're going to do here at the station. And the YouTube chat's given unanimous support to the point where my job is in jeopardy come tomorrow. I'm very concerned about what might happen here.
Well, I appreciate them.
Yeah,
They're
you
awesome.
should. You said you paid one person to say something nice. You're going to be broke if you paid all the people
Yeah,
nice things to say.
probably.
But you're going to get a chance to the news at noon here, which could put the end to. I could be watching the end of my radio career
Your
right
demise.
here in this moment. So we're going to get to it now. Here is the news at noon.
This city needs its news.
Now, it's time for
I'd like to be remembered as a good newsman.
the news at noon
That's the coolest story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane.
with Ray Dunn.
But not with Ray Dunn.
Not with Ray Dunn, with Patricia Caputo here today. Now, Ray, well, I know none of us want to talk about this again, but
Oh, good.
we're going to talk about it because, Ray, not to throw you under the bus, we kind of thought of the same thing. My plan was, let's talk about a guy who is an Eagles fan now and might be a Cowboys fan, but we switched up, and that's okay. So, Ray, sorry you have to hear this again, but that 4th and 6 call, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all questioning it. We're all wondering it. Now, on the Fusco show, they said something that maybe, before I play this, if Nick Sirianni said this in the press conference, would we all have maybe said, if I squint a little bit, I can see it, and I'll give them the pass because they won the game? Just take a listen.
That was clearly the right move, wasn't it?
Of course. We've seen so many examples of times when people haven't done that. Of course, I'm talking about Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yep.
Sarah Connor had the chance to end Dyson's life, but she spared him. And then he wound up creating Skynet and destroying all of civilization as we know it. Based on that, you can clearly see why the Eagles had to go for it on 4th down.
Now,
Yes. I mean, it made about as much sense as that. His explanation, I think.
There's at least a reason. I like that guy was like, you know what this reminds me of? A plot hole in the Terminator movies.
Now, like, clearly satire, clearly a joke. But again, I think if Nick Sirianni came out and said that, I would have been like, okay, like, I could see where you were going with this.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, when you think about his explanation and not bringing up punting once in his explanation post-game, it made about as much sense as whatever comparison across pop culture. Can you believe that I haven't seen that movie?
I haven't
Yes, I
either.
can.
Yeah.
I can believe that you haven't seen it.
Yeah, and neither is that. But here's what, for you, Patricia, until you're put under the pressure cooker of having to answer to the number of movies you haven't seen, just keep that a secret. Because it'll make for a great segment later on in the show you're on. I'm not going to be the host that goes after you for that, but I'm sure that at some point you'll be working with someone who's like, how have you seen all these movies? And that'll make for a really good, you'll have to be very, very uncomfortable during that entire segment, but it'll happen to you. It's a part of radio, I guess, culture, because we all are expected to have seen all these movies that I have not.
I actually had to look up the end just to confirm that, like, this was what happened at the end, that he wasn't just lying.
Look at that. The research that went into News at Noon. That's good.
80s movies, I got you. This one, I was like, eh. But all right, next one, we got a maybe big matchup this week with the NFL season. We're never really sure, but we got the Buccaneers and the Bills, and Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, they're friends, so they had a little friendly fire with each other. We're going to hear from both of them. We got Baker Mayfield first and Josh Allen right after.
I have to walkie-talkie to him because he's so damn tall, so I can't really have a face-to-face conversation with him. But Buffalo, it's cold, it's rainy. Even though he's 6'10", his hands are small, so he better wear his gloves.
You said you have small hands, so you need gloves.
That's crazy. Baker wears 2 gloves golfing, so he's that type of guy.
Now, Amy, I wanted to talk to you about this.
No. The 2 gloves golf. And for people that don't know, they mean one on each hand. It doesn't mean 2 gloves on top of each other.
Right. But do you know anybody who does this?
That 2 gloves it? Absolutely. That's a no-no for me.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Well, if it's raining, so I played recently and it was raining, and a lot of people, there are these specific gloves that you wear, and you wear both of them because they actually like work better when it gets wet.
Mm-hmm.
But I've played when it's cold. I can't put the other glove on. I just can't do it.
I can.
Really?
Yeah, I mean.
That's a no. That's a no for me, dog.
I mean, I already look terrible out there. I might as well throw the 2 gloves on.
Unless it's like raining. I mean, also they're in Tampa. Like, why is he wearing 2 gloves?
That's true.
You're right.
That's a really good point.
If he was in
Cleveland
Detroit
for a little,
I would have been like, yeah, all right, I see it, because you're trying to get that last winter golf in before it really starts in there. But that's a right.
Did I miss the part where they were friends, by the way?
Well, I think they were having some friendly fire. Like, I guess they know each other.
Well, that's what I
don't
mean,
know if they're like besties.
I didn't know they had this dynamic to the 2 of them. Were they the same? No.
The more you know.
Baker was.
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you. I know it's
Should
great.
I look this up? Should
yeah,
we look it up?
I'm
Yeah,
cool.
how-
I just didn't know. Like, are we seeing a new bromance form here?
Maybe.
Are they trying to like talk
Totally
a
go,
Super Bowl matchup into existence between the 2? I mean, both of them need to do a little bit more win if they want that to happen. But
Yeah, I don't know.
That should
I
be a
don't know
good
how
game.
they would know each other other than we're both quarterbacks in the league.
Right.
Maybe Josh Allen reached out to him when he was going through his time in Carolina and like
Also,
keep your
Josh
head
Allen is a tremendous golfer. I don't know about Baker Mayfield. I imagine he's
That
a
might
decent
be it.
golfer. But Josh Allen is a very good golfer.
that probably is it. To be honest with you, it's probably one of those like
Yeah.
pro-am
It's
events
just-
that they ended up becoming friends with, and like they ended up.
Yeah. You don't want to be, unless it's freezing outside and there is a weather necessity to have 2 gloves on. You don't need 2 golf gloves. That's a no-no. I just like how Josh Allen also added like he's that guy,
And that was all he said.
Because we all know if you golf, there's some dude that rolls up and he's just like, yeah.
If
I'm
I
right
ever
here,
do
like,
end up hitting
what's
the
the
links
course
with you,
record?
I'm showing up with 2 gloves.
Now, I'm a lefty. I'll just let you know how difficult it is to find right-handed gloves.
2018 draft class. There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's
they were
right.
drafted
So they
in the same
probably
draft, so they
practiced
probably
that,
got to know
yeah.
each other through that process.
All
All right.
All right, moving on. Last one. Cam Scadaboo, wishing him the best, obviously, as he recovers, but he has a little bit more time on his hands, gets to stream a little bit
Oh,
more.
no.
And this, I know you both like Seinfeld. I like Seinfeld too. This was a very like George Costanza-esque question. So take a listen. Cam Scadaboo trying to solve all the world's problems.
Do you like turn your head to eat a taco, or do you turn the taco for you? Like, are you dominant to the taco, or does the taco, like, do you turn your head for the taco? It's about the dominance of the taco though. Like, if you're turning the taco, you're dominating the taco.
That is
It's a great question. It is a Seinfeld
I will
question.
say, for those of us on YouTube, for the people on YouTube, you just saw what we all did. We all weren't like,
So
what do we do?
see, I was very hesitant to give any visual.
But like the turning the taco for me would be problematic because then you're turning the taco and stuff could fall out.
Right. The taco bows to me. I'm the dominant
Really?
one when it comes
It's
to the
all
taco.
your toppings and fall out.
But for me, it's both because it has to be
is
in a
both.
90-degree angle.
It's got to be both.
Well, do you?
You have to do both.
Why I said I was hesitant to do anything on camera.
Because I actually, yeah.
I walked right into that.
Yeah. I had some
walked
time
right
to
in.
prepare because that was me yesterday alone.
But we all
not
were
on
like-
camera. Yeah.
I walked right into
Yep,
that.
I was trying to say I was hesitant to do anything.
You got to do one. Got to do it.
I'm a soft shell guy though.
Oh, well, then they don't have that problem.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't usually,
You
but I
just, like,
guess
smush it.
No, I think you still have to go on a
you can smush
90-degree
it.
angle
I don't think so.
because everything falls out. I think the soft shells, everything falls out even more.
No, well,
I don't know. We're going to stop by Taco Bell and
yeah.
We got to try it after this.
Yeah, no, but I mean it's with the wrap. No, I feel like I feel like
How is
How
if
has
it's
this
a
never
small
come
one?
up? I've never heard that before.
Oh, Jerry
How-
Seinfeld's very upset.
Right?
He
Yeah,
didn't think of
I
this.
know, but
Yeah,
like
this
I mean,
is a
like
good
I feel
bit.
like that's just like only like you never hear about that. It's the hot dog and sandwich conversation is something that's
Right.
been going on forever. I feel like this should be more at the forefront.
I can't believe Scadabo's the one that got us onto this.
Yeah. But see, we work too much. See, Cam's had some time to reflect.
Right. He has. Wow, his brain's cooking. You know what, Cam Scadabo, I was not familiar with your game in terms of the intellect that he brings to the table.
You were nice. A lot of people didn't have nice things to say about him.
No, this is a great question.
They were like, he should stop thinking. But I actually think these are the questions that are important.
Yes. No, you keep thinking.
And-
I mean, by the end, he might solve whether or not the world's actually flat by the end of this thing.
Oh, gosh.
AJ Brown tried to do that a few years ago. Remember that?
He did.
I remember when Kyrie had that.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Well, yeah. Kyrie's. Yeah.
But the next time you go out and eat a taco,
Now I'm
you'll
thinking about
be
this.
thinking
I
of
actually
Cam
am
Scadabo.
going for lunch after this to get tacos. So I will report back.
Will you?
Yes, I will. Well,
Yeah, but now you're going to be thinking about it. It's like when you ask somebody like how they pronounce a word, you can't say the word.
Right.
So now you're thinking about it. Now I think you're going to overcorrect.
Or when you're walking on camera and all of a sudden you forget like how to walk. You ever see that like the walk like I've only ever, and thank you, Patricia. You could pot that
Well
down.
done.
Great job on the news
Well
at
done.
noon. You got me thinking, and I never think.
But now you needed to do the taco kind of experiment without having the
Right.
preconceived
So I guess
notion.
I don't know.
It will not be inaccurate.
I will observe the person I'm getting tacos with and see
Perfect.
the
There you
way
go.
that they act.
That would be
about
more of an unbiased.
But I've done the like
Experiment.
I've been walking in when like they're doing the walk in. Like I come off the team bus and they're not filming me walking in, but they're filming the team walking in. And anytime there's a camera on me, it's like I don't know if it's like a shiver up my spine or it's something up my spine where I'm like just kind of like squirming walking in. It's like this is my first ever day of walking. Like there are children.
How am I
that-
doing this?
Yeah, it's like I don't know how to walk anymore. What I do know how to do is talk about the Eagles. We're going to get back to that because we've talked a lot about A.J. Brown, and we got Michael back who called us earlier.
good.
So I want to get to Michael as well on the other side. We've talked about the A.J. Brown, how you divvy up the blame, and we're still taking your phone calls, your texts at 610-632-0975. But this can be taken to another level, to another, I guess, branch of conversation here, where when you evaluate the Eagles and their chances to go back-to-back, is the biggest problem in front of them internally or externally? Is it amongst them,
Tell me more.
their execution,
Right.
what's going on inside those four walls, or is it what's amongst the rest of the NFC? Adam Schefter was on with Kincade and Salciunas yesterday, said something that perked my ears. We'll play that for you coming up. We'll get back into the Eagles conversation, and coming up at 12:40. I'm tremendously excited for the debut of Red Flag or Not, our new segment for one day and one day only here on Middays with Marks. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn right here on The Fanatic.
Eagles head coach Nick.
Mike's on.
Sorry about
There
that.
you go.
You
Hey.
don't need to hear Vito.
There's Vito.
Hi, guys. How we doing?
Vito, I just wanted the management perspective on the first News at Noon from Patricia.
She crushed it. I think she did better than the first time you were on.
All right. That hurts. I just wanted that to be public, you know?
Right.
Yeah. No, she did great. She did tremendous.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Please.
please.
Fully packed, but maybe start looking to move some things around there.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
on your way.
Yeah.
Out.
So, all right. Seats warm. Got it. Thanks, Vito. Good to see you. That's
Thanks,
Patricia
Raymond.
did the News at Noon, and immediately Mike Vito,
Immediately
our
comes in,
broadcast
it's like,
coordinator
well,
in here,
that's it.
was
Thanks-
like,
thanks for playing, Ray.
Yeah, this was fun. You're gone. So
I think if at the end of the day, maybe she just does the News at Noon until she completely takes over for you. Like she just eases in. And
so
then,
this is
you know what I mean? It's like when someone like starts to like move all your stuff around. You're like, oh, is it?
yeah.
Huh, why didn't I used to have like some bags over there? Slowly they leave. That's kind of it.
Got it.
Your
Yeah.
power will slowly be used.
This is the old business. We're transitioning to a new leadership group, and that's what this is. Got it. So I'm being phased out. It's not a hard stop. It's
not
a
a hard
phase
stop.
out.
It's a phase out.
Got it.
One day you'll just come in and it'll be like, oh, we just fixed the glitch.
Yeah. Well, I'll be the Jamal Adams video. I'll just be swiping in downstairs.
Put your finger down there and be like, that's not working.
Walk into the overpriced coffee place and like, hey, you guys let me in here. I need to get upstairs. I think I have a job up there.
Go to the dental office first.
Yeah. All right. Adam Schefter. We're going to get to Michael and Philly in just a second on the AJ thing. Adam Schefter was on with Kincade and Salciunas earlier this week, and he got into just how stacked this NFC team is. Take a listen to what he had to say about the Eagles as compared to the rest of the NFC and where this NFC stands at right now.
To get to the Super Bowl, you're going to have to be on your A game or you're not going to get there. So all these little things that they're going through doesn't matter to me very much right now. They got time to figure it out, sort it out, get on the same page before the playoffs begin. They're going to win the division. That's not in question. Question is, can they be the number one seed, which they currently are heading into week 11? There's a chance to do that. I don't know whether they're going to be able to do it or not, but I do know that that conference is loaded with great teams.
Oh, yeah. But it is loaded with great teams. And he's basically giving you the thought process that the NFC is the bigger problem than anything that we're talking about with the Eagles right now. And I entirely disagree. With all due respect to Adam Schefter, when he looks at football, he looks from the national standpoint, and he looks at this is a team that's 7-2 and the top seed in the NFC. They're in a good spot. There's a lot of teams that he does you remember when Daryl Morey, I think was it after last season or after 2 seasons ago, he dropped the line of when 26 other teams would trade places with us right now.
I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, he used that line after the season ended. And
because it was after the Knicks loss.
right, so he used that line, and basically that's the way Adam Schefter looks at breaking down football, which is from a national perspective, I understand.
Which I get.
I get that. But that's the way he looks at the Eagles. The 30 teams probably right now would trade places with the Eagles record-wise. They would love the problem, champagne problems, whole thing. I disagree, though, because the Eagles, to reach the A game he's talking about to win a Super Bowl, they have to fix things internally. And that's not a culture thing. That's a execution-wise, that's a playing at your best level offensively that we haven't seen at a consistent basis yet this season. So to me, if you put this team up against anyone in the NFC, player for player, roster for roster, coaching staff for coaching staff, when things are humming at their best, you could be the best of these teams. That's on you to be the best version of yourself. I'm not more concerned about the outside noise because there are a lot of good teams in the NFC. All those good teams in the NFC, I used the 100 percentile result when we talk about the Phillies. The top result for that team versus the top result for the Eagles team, right. I'm going to take the reigning Super Bowl champions. And that's where it comes down to. So to me, the bigger problem is internally.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, I think that's the one. When I hear what Adam Schefter has to say, and I think you hear that a lot nationally, certainly, but also you can hear it a little bit in certain comments locally when people say like, "Oh, but there are all these situations, all this is going on, but 7-2, but obviously going to win the East, but still a top team in the NFC." When you watched all of the games on Sunday, and that's the beauty of when the Eagles play Monday night or even Sunday night like this coming week, you get to watch all the games. There wasn't a single team that you really thought, like, push comes to shove, if the Eagles are playing their best, that they couldn't beat.
Right.
I don't think you looked at any team. Like, I know that the Rams looked good, but they've already beaten the Rams. Yep. So that one I crossed off. The Lions, they can look good, but so can the Eagles. So I think that you just looked at like, all right, well, this is there for the taking. So when I hear what Schefter has to say, like there's other, yeah, they are, because the Eagles have set up themselves in such a way that even when they have some missteps, or in this case, some large missteps with your offense, they still get the win. It's hard for me to say it's completely internal just because
they're good teams.
Yeah.
But I don't subscribe to his thought process that the NFC is the more difficult area for them.
Because he won't. He was on with John Clark, Schefter was, and John was trying to really get him to say that the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. And at one point, he just looked at him and was like, I'm not going to say that. I don't believe it, and I'm not going to say it. You can say that, John.
Yeah, Johnny, good luck getting him to give you a take like that.
But he's not. He did say they're one of the best, and I don't think that's an overstatement in any stretch of the imagination. But they are one of the better teams. They're one of the top teams. They're one of the top 3 teams in the NFC. I think those are statements that you can feel confident in.
Yeah, I think that there are statements you can feel confident. It's funny. It's funny that you couldn't get Schefter to say that because Schefter always. Well, they're up there with.
Yeah,
all right.
And he'll name like 5 other teams.
Yeah, name all the teams in the playoff position right now. We're gonna go to Michael and Philly. You want to jump in on A.J. Brown? Michael, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for making it. What you got for us?
So I don't think I'm reporting anything new here, but just want to bring a couple things to you guys' attention. I think the A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts issue started last season. I think what calmed the waters between those two was winning the Super Bowl. I remember looking at some of the YouTube clips of them interacting with each other on the sideline when they knew that the game was over, and that they had the victory. They embraced each other, hugged each other,
talked about everything they've been through. Yep.
Exactly. I think that they're still at odds. I think it kind of re-sparked again. And I think at this point, based off what I'm looking at and the way that Jalen has played the game, you see against the Vikings when it's needed, I think Jalen is willing to throw the ball to A.J. Brown whenever it's needed. But as soon as it's no longer needed, he overlooks him. I really believe Jalen is purposely not throwing him the ball. There's a personal feud there. And I don't know how that gets resolved. I don't know why he would make that decision necessarily outside of the idea that he just wanted to make sure that he keeps the ball out of harm's way.
Well, and I think that's where they keep coming back to, Michael. I think that's where they keep coming back to. And I appreciate you making the phone call to us. That where you're going with this is that he doesn't like A.J. Brown, and he's letting that personal vendetta get in the way of where he's going with the football. I have a tough time getting to that point. I do think that there is a little bit of him that teams are covering up A.J. Brown so much because all the attention he just garners. Jalen being so risk-averse, that coverage is risky. It makes it a risky throw for him. I think that's why he's staying away from it. Now, what Michael's saying about them not having a great personal relationship, I would subscribe to it. I don't think those guys are, at this point, friends. They were able to put aside last year, and Michael's right. The clip last year that came out of the Super Bowl, to me, was the greatest sign of, like, these are two guys that just aren't friends anymore.
Right.
That's the way it is.
And even the audio, when it was just like, hey, it was just
everything
kind
we've
of
been
like
through led to this. Great. Like, I don't need them to be friends. I think this is more a question of whether or not the quarterback wants to be more risk-averse and whether or not this coaching staff is going to give you easy solutions to finding A.J. Brown. And until you get those two things, I think A.J. Brown's going to be upset. And I think this is the reality we're going to live in, which is why I'm giving him one social media post a week so he's top 25 in receiving yards in football.
Because it'll be justified.
All right. Coming up here, at 12:40, we're going to play a fun game of red flag or not. We're going to have Amy and Patricia give their take on a number of different traits in men. This was something I saw. It was a story that came out of a TikTok, and I'll explain when we get to that red flag or not segment. So all of you men tuned in that want to know how a woman feels about certain traits, we have two wonderful women here that are going to give their breakdown on it. And coming up in the next segment, we're going to get into a little bit of a vision I had the other day coming home from the show. I was headed over to Temple for the Temple LaSalle game, and I was driving, and I was like, if Sunday goes the way that I fear, this isn't the last time we've talked to Eagles-Packers. We'll get to that. Alongside Amy Fruhl, I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Finding a steady offense. I'm Patricia Caputo with your Fanatic Sports Update, and this update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Despite wintry conditions and heavy traffic, holidays must go on. That's why Mercedes-Benz SUVs comes with the latest safety technology. Find incredible offers at the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Celebration Love. Week 11 of the NFL season begins tonight, and the Eagles are preparing to take on the Lions Sunday night. The Birds have struggled to find a consistent offense this season, and A.J. Brown has voiced his concerns numerous times this week, but quarterback Jalen Hurts is ready to move on.
Got the Detroit Lions. I'm going to definitely put a halt to that. The more we drive that, the more of a distraction it becomes, and I think ultimately it's about the group. We are who we are as a team. We're all we got, and we're all we need.
A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts will try to lead their offense to victory against the 6-3 Lions right here at Lincoln Financial Field Sunday night. In the NHL, Flyers are off tonight after taking a 2-1 loss to the Oilers Wednesday night after a game-winning goal was waved off due to an Owen Tippett offsides call. The puck drops again for the Fly Guys Friday at 8 p.m. against the Blues in St. Louis. In the NBA, Sixers are off tonight, but will tip off again at 7:30 p.m. in Detroit to take on the Pistons. This update is also brought to you by Morgan Stern Hair Restorations. Great teams stick together, and so does great hair. Morgan Stern Hair Restorations, championship results. Visit morgansternhair.com or call 610-980-4000. I'm Patricia Caputo on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
To the second
Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic, alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Coming up in about 10 minutes' time. Red flag or not? We're going to get both Amy Fadul and Patricia Caputo's take on, I believe it's 9 different traits that men exemplify, according to, I forget the magazine in this one. Was it? Might have been a People. I don't know. It was one of those. They saw it. It came up my feed, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then it ended up being, like, linked back to a magazine like my mom reads. And I was like, how did this end up my algorithm? Maybe it's trying to send me a message.
Exactly.
Could be trying to send me a message.
Are you a red flag, Ray?
I could be. That was what YouTube chat
Take
immediately.
this quiz.
Red flag Ray was the YouTube chat as soon as I said
that's a quiz, like on some of those old school magazines.
By the way, speaking of the YouTube chat, something I don't know if I've even promoted, feedback. We need your feedback for today. You can get in at 610-632-0975. Final segment of the program. The AI voice reads your feedback. So anything we've gotten into today, who you're placing blame for the A.J. Brown drama that we've found, whether you're like me and you're allowing him one social media post a week until he is top 25 receiving in the NFL. Right now he's 50th. There's a guy with the last name Booty. I think that's how it's pronounced. Booty. Right in front of him. Kayshawn Booty.
You're naming people that I've literally never heard
Kendrick
of.
Bourne.
Who's
Jason Bourne might have more receiving yards than A.J. Brown right now.
Starts with a T?
Trey Tucker. Real guy.
Who is that?
Exactly. Oh, these are people with more receiving yards than A.J. Brown right now. It's not good. Bijan Robinson.
Yeah. I mean, when running backs are up there, that's pretty bad.
There's the tight end from the Chargers that got hurt. That I forget his name.
Hasn't been playing, and he's still above him.
He's ahead of him. It's not great. So until he's top 25, he's 142 yards away. Until he's top 25, he gets one social media post a week, and I won't say anything. I mean, I'll say something because I have to talk. This is a talk show, but I'll say I'm understanding of it. I'll be understanding. Okay, that's where I'm at with this right now.
I get it.
And I also want some feedback on the biggest problem in front of you, internally or externally, because Schefter laid out just how tough the NFC is. Yeah, NFC's tough.
Thinks I still think it's. I'm not going to say all internal, but it's definitely. There's a ratio, and it would be 75-25.
It's 100 to nothing.
Okay. Oh, right.
It's a black or white issue for me right here. Yeah. The Eagles need to find their 100th percentile results. And that's going to be our theme for today's show, 100th percentile. That's what we have today. I wanted to get to this vision I had the other day. So I get done with the show here, and anyone here, I think, can attest, when I get done the show, usually my mind starts to jump to what's next. I'm not like some shows I think do the whole like breakdown of like how this went, how that went, the whole thing. I probably should. I probably should do more reflection.
A post-mortem?
No, I'm very much like, okay, who do we have tomorrow? Who's the guest? What do we plan to do? What do we have?
Turn the page
quickly. Yeah, I turned the page quickly. And I was on the way home Tuesday, or on the way actually to Temple on Tuesday, and I was thinking back to like what we had talked about, the whole thing. I was then looking ahead to Sunday and the Lions game and some of the storylines we get into this week. And basically, I saw the fork in the road for this team. They win this game. To me, number one seed, we don't even have to worry. We're talking about number one seed, like Cowboys, Bears. Like you're gonna be 7-1, in the conference at that point. Everyone else has 2 or more losses in the conference. Mm-hmm. There is no one that's at the 6-win threshold. You've already got 7 wins. Your wins include
tiebreakers.
Lions, Rams, Bucks. I'm forgetting one rather large one that just happened. Packers. That was the one just happened this week. Like you would have all those tiebreakers. So I would feel very confident you get the number one seed. You lose this weekend, I feel like we're going to be previewing Eagles-Packers at the link again for Wild Card Weekend.
You think so?
Yeah, I really do.
The Packers are in.
They're in trouble, but I also look at the rest of the NFC and I'm like, the 7th seed could be theirs, or like the 6th. Like they have enough to right the ship. If they lose to Jameis Winston this weekend, then yeah.
Well, then that's
pack it in. Matt LaFleur, start updating the resume. Like
they still have the Bears left. They still have the Lions left.
Right. They have 5 division games left, which is a lot.
It is a lot for the back half.
Yeah, for the back half to go. Both games against the Vikings and the Bears, and 1 in Detroit. So they're going to finish probably somewhere in the 9-7-1 threshold. And I think that might just be enough to get you a half game over another team.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could, if they get to the 10-6-1 threshold, that's probably enough to get them into that 6th seed. I think they're going to be bottom tier. The real point was, Tuesday I thought about just how much flack I caught for the love conversation. And I was like, thank God that's over. And then I realized it's not over.
Yeah.
Because I really do think if you lose this Sunday, it's going to be Eagles-Packers wildcard weekend. And I just was thinking about that. I was like, it's going to be interesting if the Eagles could run back almost the entire postseason slate of a year ago, only this time, this Sunday is the preview of the actual NFC Championship game.
So it's like one by one.
Yeah.
The Lions, the Packers, that's where you want to go?
I mean, the Packers, Rams, Lions, like that could be the way you run through.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right. But do you want to do that? Is that what you're trying to talk it into?
I'm not talking into existence. No,
Okay,
I don't want to. I don't want to deal with the Pack again. I'm done.
You think you flirted with disaster there?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, pack it up and go away.
I just think the Packers I don't know that you'll see them again because I really don't know.
I think they picked themselves off the mat. I think they do.
All right.
Now, everyone listening says, "Oh, he's a Love guy." Of course he thinks that.
That's true. You do love Jordan Love.
They're a talented team.
True. So are the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, the Eagles are a better team. I think that, I would pick the Eagles to win that wild card game. I just am thinking this weekend is the difference between us talking about some pesky look at the way this team's played in the second half game and the wild card weekend instead of talking about
a
the
team
bye.
that's like absolutely locked.
Yeah.
1 seed done.
Right.
You're already cruising into that.
Correct. That's the way, and that was the one thing I had in my vision. I was like, ooh, if I think that I'm going to be talking about the Packers again, it's because I think the Eagles are playing a wild card weekend, which means I think they're losing this game.
I don't think well, they might lose this game, but I just still don't think that I'm
number one seed.
I still don't think they're going to be wild card weekend.
So number one seed.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. Works for me. I'm signing up for that right now. You could guarantee me no matter what happens.
Just because they own the tiebreakers over some of the other teams out there.
This team's the one that would be. This is the one team that could get you, because you're not going to lose it on conference record to someone.
No.
Unless you lose this game and lose one of the Bears, Cowboys, or I guess Commanders.
I mean, that would be.
You might lose the second Commanders game just out of.
Well, just because you're not playing anybody.
Yeah.
But also the Commanders won't be playing any humans either. So.
No. Marcus Mariota.
You might be able to back
puts a
into that.
dagger into the Eagles' playoff hearts. Yeah, exactly. All right. Coming up for the first time on Middays with Marks, the segment Red Flag or Not. Will it survive past the 1 o'clock hour? No. But it'll be fun to do once with Amy Fadul and Patricia Caputo. I'm Ray Dunn in for Johnny Marks right here at Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, everybody. It's Bill Colorado.
Weekdays with Marks, without Marks, alongside A.B. Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn hanging out with you. Johnny Marks back tomorrow. Hope his daughter's doing all right, getting the tonsils out. Hope Johnny is at least kept close to his promise not to have a lot of ice cream today. I feel like it's a support thing. It's a nice thing to do. You know, you're eating ice cream. I feel like it's a nice moment.
Why not? Let's have ice cream together. If you're going to buy ice cream, too.
You might as well. You might
already
as well.
there.
And this is a segment that I feel like has like John energy written all over it. Like this type of he likes his offbeat talk radio type segment here. We're gonna get back to the Birds conversation. We'll get back to I have a little Sixers conversation. Speaking of Sixers Nuggets, Jared McCain down to the G League. Just gonna get some minutes.
I imagine it's to get some run.
Score a bucket. See the ball go through the net.
Get a shot kind of going the right way.
Also, in other sports news, Emilio Clase was arrested by FBI agents when he got to JFK today. There you go. That puts a little bit of a pin on that story. Apparently, there's going to be more information coming out. But just to keep you up to date with everything going on, because we are your station for breaking news. But right now, we're your station for the debut of the segment, Red Flag or Not. All right.
There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Come on down.
A TikToker went out on the street and asked 10 women the biggest red flag that they found in a previous partner, or for a red flag they found in a previous partner they found in dating. I don't know if it was the biggest, but it then led to 25 women being polled on whether or not they found these traits to be red flags. Today, with the wonderful women we have here on Middays with Marks, Amy Fadul, and Patricia Caputo, we are going to see whether this trait is a red flag or not. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right. The first trait, a bad response time in text or calls.
Red flag. No.
A red flag?
I guess it's one for me, too.
Also,
You're
red
on
flag
your phone all the time. Just text back. We don't need to.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a subjective thing. If it takes multiple days, that's not ideal.
Okay.
But if it's like hours, see, some women are going to be like, you didn't text me back immediately. And that, to me, is a red flag.
All right. So we're going to say response time for Patricia is a red flag. You're saying you're perfectly fine.
If you're staring at your phone, you know what I mean? You're I'm purposely not going to text back. That's yes. If you're at work or
that's
something,
opposite.
that's whatever.
All right. Second trait, remain friends with women from their past. Red flag or not? Amy Fadul?
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. It depends on the situation. But I would say, I guess that's a red flag if you were dating for a while.
Ah, okay. Interesting. Okay. So far, Amy, very accepting. Patricia?
Well, because why'd you break up?
I can't ask these women. I don't know. Are these men that the women talk to?
I think we're there just talking in generalities. Like, I think you should be on good terms with people.
Right. But, like, if you're cool and everything, that's fine.
Okay, so something you can look past, but a red flag initially is where we're going to come down on this one.
Yeah, I have questions, I guess you would say.
A lot of questions. All right, so it turns into an interrogation. Third trait. Spends a lot of time out. Bars, clubs, out amongst people. Not in the house often.
Out in the streets.
Out in the streets.
That's a tough one for me. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I saw that as a red flag or just something that I wouldn't be particularly interested in. But I don't know that it's a true red flag for me.
Okay, not a red flag.
I actually agree. It's not a true one, but I don't really go to clubs and stuff.
But if that's their vibe, then
I don't know if we'd get it. Like, I might just not want to waste my time.
Yeah, it's not. Got it. Constantly finds themselves with a dead phone.
Like a real dead phone or my cell phone died.
That's the question. That's
yeah.
Again, this is how you guys assess from the outside.
That would be something that I would be like, what are we doing?
All right, so that's the first red flag on the Amy side of things.
That's just like, what are we doing?
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they just need a new phone.
All right.
And a new battery.
This one is quite interesting because of conversations we've had before. Too career-oriented.
No.
I guess not. I don't know. I'm really a family person, so actually I would say, like, maybe.
Maybe. Okay, so maybe. We'll give like a half check there for Patricia.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume, Amy Fadul, this is not one for you.
No.
All right. enjoys going out in their hometown. I thought this was a really interesting.
Oh, that's odd because if you ask that in Philly, people will be like,
duh,
I'm here.
Right. So you would say overall, though?
I think that the pretense of that is like they want to go to where they're like a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's the red flag. But in general, I would say no.
No, okay.
But I think the idea is
No?
I think the idea
All
is
right.
that you want to go out in your hometown because you're a big deal in your hometown.
Maybe. But I want to meet everybody. You know, I want to be like, yeah, what is your hometown like? What's so special about it?
Fair enough.
Yeah, I would say no.
Problematic past partner.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, that's a red flag. I'm not dealing with that.
Okay, that was a quick answer from both of you.
I mean,
I'm not pressing any further on that question. Both of you went red flag immediately.
I think that's what I thought with the first one.
All right. Someone who commits way too hard to a bit. Not serious.
Depends on I'm not serious all the time. No.
Maybe. That would just probably annoy me after a while.
Okay, so.
Yeah, give me a half one on that one.
Yeah, go for a half one on there for you, bits. And the last one. Doesn't go on dates on weekend nights.
Yeah. That's a red flag.
What? Yeah, that's bizarre. Oh, so you can like be open for like the other opportunities?
100%.
That's a no.
Massive red flag.
Yeah.
So to run down the red flags that we got so far.
I can't hang out with you on Saturday? Okay.
So too hard.
How's Tuesday?
2 bits was, Amy said that was a half one.
Yeah.
And then doesn't date weekends.
It's kind of strange.
Both of you said red flag that. So go down the line here. We got Patricia with 5 red flags, Amy with 4.
All right, not bad. I finished strong. I was starting off kind of slow out of the gates.
So you want to know what the real punchline to this entire segment was?
None of these were red flags for the women.
No. This was not a story that was run anywhere or a TikTok. This was a text that went out to a group chat I'm in asking for red flags about myself. That you guys have decided I'm checkered, I guess would be the way you guys would describe it. These were the ways my friends described the red flags that I possess. Which both of you with the don't date on weekends, I knew was going to give away for our audience that we were talking about me. But that is hilarious to hear both of you immediately go, oh, disgusting, gross. These were the ones also that were appropriate for air that got to the group chats. But this was not a story. This was a red flags of Ray. How bad are they?
Of Ray. So what are the? So I don't get the weekend thing.
I mean, unless they're serious.
But you're working.
Right, no, you're not gonna get me off the hook with that one. No, it's the idea of if we're serious, I'll go out and do it on a weekend. If I'm going on like a first date, I'm not doing a first date on a weeknight or a weekend night, just because I could be out.
That's so weird.
I could be out.
Yeah, on a date.
But I could go on a date on a Tuesday night.
A lot of people, that's not going to fly.
I'm probably not. Maybe this is.
You're sectioning you off with like
what?
You're sectioning you off a whole segment of the population. What if there's like doctors or lawyers that have like they just can't go out during the week, but they are ready to like hit
That's
the
fair.
town Friday and Saturday, and you're just
that's a good point.
You're dismissing them all.
And financially, it's a
and
terrible.
I will say the problematic ex is only a red flag when that relationship is still
looming.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I thought with the third
Me
one,
too.
maybe, that I was like, well, are you still talking like this could be a possibility?
Yeah, is this person still like in the background?
So this, to clear up, this was not a story. This was very much my friend's assessment of me. The bad response time with texts and calls is a recurring theme through my life. I
will text people and be like, sorry.
It
It'll be
drives
3
people
days
nuts.
later.
No, I'm bad with that. Going down the list here, the friends, women's from past, we're not going too deep into that. A lot of time at bars was one I was worried was going to give it away. I was worried that was going to be like, is he talking about himself here? Constantly has a dead phone, been a problem. My computer's actually about to die. Now we're sitting here. I just don't have anything charged ever. The 2 career-oriented, I got a response from someone we both know. It was like, works 4 jobs. That's the... My bad. My high school friends say I'm way too comfortable at the hometown bar, that I enjoy being around people from my high school too much.
Yeah, I don't mind.
And then the problematic past partner commits way too hard to bits and doesn't date on weekends. Doesn't date on weekends. I was enjoying the YouTube chat, realizing, oh my gosh, this thing is actually about Ray. But there it is. Red flag or not.
Red flag, Ray.
Of the 9 traits, Patricia has me over 50% as a red flag. You have me just under 50% as a red flag. There you go, folks.
My bad, Ray.
The debut of Red Flag or Not.
And there's always a woman out there that says, I can fix him.
You can't.
I can fix him. I will
I
get
can
him
assure
all
you.
the chargers. We will go
New
out on
phone,
Saturday
yep.
night dates.
All right,
I
coming
can
up.
fix him.
For your
I want
Wednesday.
to I want to get into the Jared McCain conversation that we just had about him going down to the G League, get into the Sixers conversation. Because, Amy, I want to get what you make of the early going of this season. We're going to get back to the Eagles coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, but I have Amy Fadul here. I want to talk some hoops with you. I want to get into a little bit of what's going on with this team, what to make of the early season. We got into the Joel concern earlier. We'll jump back to some Birds talk later on in the 1 o'clock hour. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn here on Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Finding a steady offense. I'm Patricia Caputo with your Fanatic Sports Update. Week 11 of the NFL season begins, and the Eagles are preparing to take on the Lions Sunday night. The Birds have struggled to find a consistent offense this season, and A.J. Brown voiced his offensive concerns numerous times this week, but quarterback Jalen Hurts is ready to turn the page.
Got the Detroit Lions. I'm going to definitely put a halt to that. The more we drive that, the more of a distraction it becomes, and I think ultimately it's about the group. We are who we are as a team. We're all we got, and we're all we need.
A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts will try to lead the offense to victory against the Lions right here at Lincoln Financial Field Sunday night. In the NHL, the Flyers are off tonight after taking a 2-1 loss to the Oilers. The puck drops again for the Fly Guys Friday at 8 p.m. against the Blues in St. Louis. In the NBA, Sixers are off tonight, but will tip off again at 7:30 p.m. in Detroit to take on the Pistons. This report is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. Despite wintry conditions and heavy traffic, holidays must go on. That's why Mercedes-Benz SUVs comes with the latest safety technology. Find incredible offers at Mercedes-Benz Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. I'm Patricia Caputo on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Program here on Middays with Marks. I'm Ray Dunn alongside Amy Fadul, Patricia Caputo. We've gotten some good feedback from the first and final running of Red Flag or Not. Was there ever a
We
point?
should check in on the red flags like later down the road.
Was there ever a point where, because Patricia doesn't know me that well. Like, Patricia, you started here, what, 3, 4, 5 months ago now at this point? It feels
Yeah,
like
end of
something.
July.
End of July. Oh, so less than that. I don't know. I can't do math. 4 months. Yeah, 4 months
I was
ago.
like, what do you mean less
Close
than that?
enough.
Yeah, well, I started just putting every number
You
out there so that I
remember
was
it
right
was?
at some point. So about 4 months ago. So Patricia doesn't know me that well. But Amy, was there ever a point during that game where you suspected?
The end.
The end.
The first one that made me be like, is this talking about Ray was spends too much time in bars?
Yeah. So
But
that
the
was
end is what got me.
that was so I had
That was the first one I was like, well, Ray does that.
yeah, I had proofed this with a friend of mine and I was like, is this too obviously me? Like we tried to space out the ones that might give it away that it's me. There was a lot of thought. More thought went into that than most things that I've ever done in my life.
And that's true. Because you have this lovely show sheet for everybody. to
Yeah.
Look how many multiple pages. I doodle on it sometimes, but it looks lovely. There's a
Yeah.
lot of work in here.
Yeah. Something like that.
Multiple
Yeah.
pages.
Clearly understood, which is nice.
Yeah. Thank you. I
Yes.
try my best over here. I do. But yeah, so that was fun. I enjoyed doing that. I know there's a subsection of people in my life that enjoyed both of you absolutely crushing me for the weekend date thing because they agree.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It makes sense to me. And that's who it matters to make sense to. WBEN, WBN, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio. Powering possibilities as we take you into the 1 o'clock hour. We'll start with the news of the 12 o'clock hour with the local association team. Jared McCain going down to the G League. You said probably to get some run, see a shot go in because you haven't seen that yet for him. Just looking at this team at large, though, I mean, McCain at some point will factor in. It's been disappointing to start. Edgecombe's come back down to earth. Has had a bit of a rookie wall to start things out. But 7-4, coming off
Finding
the win
ways to win.
against the Celtics. If they ever figure out how to play in the third quarter, watch out, NBA. What is your biggest takeaway of the first 11?
The third quarter thing is confounding. They played 11 third quarters. They've won one of them. 6 of them, they've lost third quarters by 10 points or more.
That's not great.
I mean,
I wouldn't sign up for that.
good Lord. My biggest takeaway is the fact that the offense has been able to run at the speed and pace that it has. Even when you insert other people. And we saw that with Joel Embiid, he was running with that offense as well at times. So I think that was a big question mark to me. It was the number one thing everybody talked about at Media Day. It was like, we want to run with pace. We want to play with pace. We want to do all of these things. And I thought, that's all well and good, but I don't know that you've got the team for it. And you've got guys like Trent and Watford who have fit seamlessly in that kind of role, been like truly a point forward, which if you're going to have that kind of pace, everyone has to be a passer, a willing passer. So that's been a big takeaway for me, that they've been able to operate in that pace. I think Edgecombe will come back to, he came back down to earth. I think he'll get back closer to what we saw, not the 34, but what that's.
It's a double-edged sword.
Right. But
Incredible debut for everyone to talk about you. Horrible standard to set for yourself.
I feel like he's going to come back closer to the mean on
Yeah.
that, though. I think that he'll be a guy that'll get you 13 to 15 points, and he'll shoot the ball well.
Listen, if you're trying to write off Edgecombe at this point, especially while we're in the middle of Eagles season, like, come on, let's get
It's
some more
11 games
content.
in.
Yeah, let's get some more
Of
content.
82.
Yeah, let's
82.
relax.
I think we do kind of forget, and that's one thing I do appreciate too, is that there is so much interest right now in the Sixers because, let's face it, after last season, it was rough. It was rough out there.
So yeah, it was rough.
They won 24 total games.
No one knows better than you how rough it was. I mean, that was tough. I commend you. Every time that I was out and about
There
and I looked
was.
up, there you were on Sixers post game, like, raise the glass and say, hey,
we're still at
they
it.
lost, but she's breaking it down. Good for her.
But
Good job.
I think the interest is there in the fact that they're a fun team to watch. And
Right.
usually when you're watching an NBA season, no matter who you cheer for, a lot of the interest wanes until football season's over.
Yeah, and there's fun that we're having here. I hate to be that guy,
There you are.
but like I'm having fun watching it. But it's maybe because I've felt like very uncomfortable listening to conversations surrounding this team about what they can be without Joe. They don't have the top level talent to do something meaningful without him.
Right.
So, like, I guess I'm having fun, but reconciling that fun with the conversation of where this is going. Like, this is a team, if this right knee is a problem, and like, this is going to be something that keeps that extended-wise, we're talking about a team, battles for the play-in. You know, you'll see the Bulls. I imagine they get past the Bulls in the play-in. You know, like, that'll be nice. Or the Hawks. You know, the perennial play-ins. Like, those
Hawks
teams.
Better.
Yeah, Hawks been solid, you know. But like
solid
that
7 seed.
Yeah, like you could flirt with that like 7-8. Like if you have Embiid available for whatever ends up at 40-something games and he gives you and you play at this pace, yeah, you can be a top 6 in the conference.
Absolutely.
But if this is going to go the path where people are like, you know, it's more fun without him, you know, if he fades to the side, I get that you're having fun watching this team with pace. The fun will end pretty quickly when you play a real team in the postseason.
Yeah, and I think that I've long since been of the mindset, and people ask me when I see them out. I've been on with you and John. I've been on in the mornings with Andrew and John, and there is a contingent of people that believe and want to also believe that the team is better without Joel Embiid. I will never say that. I don't believe that. I think that would be a really tough thing to try and say this team will be absolutely fine, a top 6 playoff team no matter what, without one of the best players to ever put on the Sixers uniform. I understand that he's not the player he was a couple of years ago,
right.
But I still go back to even if you get 40 games out of him, you get half the season, those are games that are so much more winnable. And he is able, and he has shown that he can play in this pace of an offense. He can play the style that they need him to play. I don't believe that the offense changes 180 degrees when he's out there.
The issue is sustainability of him playing. Like you saw him running up and down the floor against the Raptors.
That was great.
He started to look good, and now we're sitting here talking about a right knee instead of a left knee. That's more so where I come down of the concern of like, I think he can. Well, in a perfect world, he can do it, but can his body sustain it is something we have to find out the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's
but
always the question.
I'm enjoying it in the sense that I'm enjoying Grimes, Edgecombe, Maxey. Like this Maxey run's been remarkable. It's been one of the best starts we've ever seen. I mean,
it just got snapped against the Celtics, unfortunately, but they got the win.
They won. Yeah,
25-5.
Are we supposed to be talking about individual stats when we're winning football, basketball games? Come on,
AJ.
Come on. What are we doing here? What are we talking about? But to me, right now, and this is kind of my big 76ers takeaway, I'm having a cautious amount of fun.
I think that's fair.
Like, it's not so much that I think I'm going to get hurt at the end because I think I know where this one ends.
Yes.
It's that I think some of the fun that everyone else is trying to enjoy, I'm watching you all enjoy it. And I don't know if it's like you don't want to deal with reality or like your reality is different than mine. And maybe if that's the case, that's fine. You can view the team and you want to view them. I just am having I'm having the amount of fun where it's like Justin Edwards went for 22. That's awesome. I love it, by the way. Hey, Justin Edwards going for 22 on Mikey's 70th birthday was poetic. I think Edwards playing that one. I really hope that they had TV on where Edwards having birthday dinner and that he was watching Edwards dropping threes. Because that was one of my favorite back and forths the two of us had was over Justin Edwards. But seeing, I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying night in, night out watching the basketball team, which is more than you could say the season ago. I just think I have, and I'm not usually the guarded one when it comes up to the Sixers, but I'm more guarded because I think the way other people are having fun is at the expense of Embiid, and that they don't want him there. And it's like,
yeah, I can't. That's...
Yeah, I don't, and maybe I got the read wrong there, but this team is fun. It's good, but to get to that next level. Yeah, sort of. Also, I think the looming Paul George return is also weighing on me a little bit.
That weighs on me a little bit because it seemed like we were going to see him this week. The update last week was he's going to be reevaluated. It was the final step over the weekend, and then we'll probably see him, sooner rather than later. And I think the expectation was that we would. Then you got the blow that, yeah, he's still being reevaluated, fine, whatever. When you think about now you have 2 looming returns, depending on how long Joel Embiid sits out trying to rehab a little bit of this knee issue. And then you've got Paul George, they want to make sure everything around the knee is structurally sound. That was the quote that they gave out the other day. It was like, okay, now you've got 2 guys that you're trying to involve. And I've long said there should never be a 3 associated with Paul George's name. He shouldn't play the 3, and his numbers for minutes should never start with a 3. Mark Jackson differs from me on that one. He thinks that he's a true 4 now, and that's fine. But he thinks his numbers should start with a 3, and I was like, I do not. I think he should.
Man,
start
you're gonna
with a
put me in between you and Mark.
That's right.
That's
right.
I gotta make a choice. Don't do that to me.
So, does it start with a 3, Ray, or does it start with a 2?
Well, good thing we're up against it for a break.
Oh, goodness.
Probably starts with a 2. I don't know. What if it started with 0? All right, coming up. Get back to the Birds conversation. We'll put a bow on everything A.J. Brown wise, but I do want to enjoy the misery of someone.
Yes.
I do want to take joy in someone's misery because we talk about a 7-2 football team, and the conversation this week can get tense about, what do you think? Who's to blame here? Who's to blame there? Why is this offensive? I was mad Monday night after that offensive output. They asked me Tuesday, I was on PHL 17 the morning, so they asked me, do you enjoy a defensive battle? And I was like, yeah, I guess in some instances, but when all of that money's been tied into that offense, watching it score 10 points is just infuriating. Yeah. I don't know if that was the word I used. I think I was probably nice. TV. I don't want to be too radio-y on TV. If I really go after them, but I was livid watching that team only put up 10 points. But things that bring me joy are seeing miserable, notable Cowboy fans. And one of them declared the Eagles are going back-to-back. It might be a reverse jinx, but I just want to take joy in his misery coming up next and dive into the appreciation of a 7-2 team before we wrap up the show, going back to A.J. Brown and all the tense things we've talked about all show long. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. Bill Colarulo, Ricky Batalico, Silvana Keller coming up at 2 o'clock, Unfiltered, right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and NBC Sports, Philadelphia.
Thank you for saying that.
No problem. I want to make sure because I love that. And I've been fortunate enough a few times to sit in that chair on the television program where you're teasing to go to break, and it's like coming up next on 97.5 The Fanatic and NBC Sports, Philadelphia. And then, it's that powerful TV thing. Yeah, Bill, TV. Speaking of looking like you're on TV, I want to let you know our 1 o'clock hour is brought to you by Morgan Stern Hair Restorations. Great teams stick together, and so does great hair. Morgan Stern Hair Restoration. Championship results. Visit morgansternhair.com or call 610-980-4000. Bill has not yet committed to that. We'll get him. We're going to get him to commit to it. To shave again.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the whole hair. Yeah. Because he gets uncomfortable with the camera shot that comes from behind him on NBC Sports Philly because he's got I don't want to put his business out there, but if you watch on television, you see it. So it's the bald spot. So, they'll do the...
I don't want to put his business out there, but I'm absolutely putting his business out there.
Well, he's talked about it. It's fine. I mean, he's talked about things in my life that we thought we'd keep off the air, so I feel like...
They're amongst friends.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be held accountable for things said amongst friends. Exactly. That's a good point by you, Amy Fadul. We're going to get back to A.J. Brown coming up. One thing that I wanted, before I get to the Dallas Cowboys fan, the Dallas Mavericks news from yesterday. Nico Harrison getting fired. Awesome. Kind of confusing that you let him go 9 months after the trade. He should have just been fired as soon as he made the trade. Yeah.
November. The season started.
They lucked into the number one. If they had not won the draft lottery.
I love that you say luck. That's hilarious.
Well, yeah. Had the draft lottery not gone in their favor,
there you go.
They would have given him the opportunity to draft following making that trade, which is absurd to me. It shouldn't have taken.
If they had to pick third or fifth or whatever, they would have given the general manager. I would be surprised if that wasn't if.
Yeah, I mean that's the crazy
probably why
thing.
They didn't.
But also Cooper Flagg and family being upset that they're chanting "Fire Nico" while shooting free throws. It's the NBA, buddy. Time to grow up.
It's so weird that a Duke player doesn't like something.
No, they're chanting "Fire the general manager."
Meanwhile, if anybody had seen anything at Cameron Indoor. When the opposing team.
Yeah. The Charmin Ultra Soft for, it's so tough for those players for them to be chanting Fire Nico. Welcome to the NBA, bro. It's better they're chanting about your general manager than they're chanting about you.
Exactly, because they'll boo you. Can you imagine if he played?
So, yeah. I wanted to address that. I wanted to ask, Luka trade number one, for you, when I say worst trade ever made, is there one that sticks out above any for you? No.
You traded a generational talent.
I feel like we all rank it number one.
I can't. I mean, there's some bad trades out there that you think, wow, that really came back to bite the other team, but at least they got something.
Right.
It's the fact they didn't fire him on the spot.
Yeah.
On the spot.
But it's by far going to go down as the worst.
It's the worst trade I've ever. I can come to.
The only trade that I can think...
Like the Ryan Sandberg trade comes to mind for a lot of people.
Yeah. Sandberg trade comes to mind. The Watson trade to the Browns.
Oh.
For me,
But that was dumb on the other team, on the receiving team.
Yeah, but it just in terms of bad trades, the Watson trade is the only one that comes to mind where I'm rivals how bad Luke is. But I know for people that are listening to me, they know my age, they're well, you forgot about that trade. If you want that for feedback, you can get on that, or if you want to get on the text board.
Yeah, I'm sure there's trades out there that people are going to be oh, well, this one and this one.
Luka's one. I'm just looking for two.
I mean, yeah, I'll go Sandberg trade. I mean, I don't remember it, but obviously I've read about it.
Right.
And I know what he turned into and the fact that he could have been.
Yeah. You got fleeced by a guy that was working here, that knew what he had, what he could have had in the farm system here, and went somewhere else. Yeah. That's tough. That's a tough look for him. It just wasn't as obviously bad in the moment. I always felt the Watson trade was obviously bad in the moment.
Well, yeah, Watson was bad because everybody knew he was bad news and not that good of a quarterback.
Right. You guaranteed all that money, give up all that,
You could go. There's some bad ones up there when the Bears traded away. What did they do? They did the Mitch Trubisky. They traded away some picks to move up to 3.
Then they passed on.
That was a bad
Mahomes.
one. And passed on Patrick Mahomes. They traded up to get Trubisky.
But the fact that we have to justify these shows you Luka's one. Everything else is battling for 2.
It's not even close.
Speaking of being number one, Skip Bayless believes the Eagles are going to be number one again. This is what I will get back to the A.J. Brown in the next segment, and then we'll wrap up with feedback in the final segment. But this is one of those moments where it's like, isn't it great to be us? Like, we'll obviously dive into the topic of A.J. Brown. We'll dive into what's going on with that offense. I was just as mad as anyone watching on Monday night. The show sheet the next day where it starts with, what the hell was that game? Could tell you everything I felt in those moments after that game. But with that being said, it's sound bites like this that remind me just how glorious an age we're living in.
They dominated 10-7. That summed up the Eagles to me. They just know how to win games better than anybody else in this league knows how to win games. And obviously, I've been rooting like crazy for the Cowboys to come back from the dead. And I sat back at the end of that game last night and I said, I give up. I give in. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to win it again.
Oh.
I mean, that's just great, isn't it?
It is great.
Is it me or like, since he's not been on national TV, his accent's gotten worse?
Yeah. Everything. I mean, he's gotten worse.
But I feel like he's really leaning into it now.
Yeah. No, he's regressed across the board. Like the takes too.
Oh yeah, well.
Yeah. I mean, they were never good, but now it's like grifter level. Like before, it was like, I'm going to try and talk you into this ludicrous point.
Right.
Now he's not even talking me into a point. He did a 25-minute video on, I think it was someone getting like their baptism that the morning of a game or something like that he was upset about. Like he's just now leaned all the way into the grift. So it's just enjoyable to know that as much as I complain, as much as I get upset, this team is 7-2. And there is an entire subset of creeps, losers, morons that wear the Dallas Star consistently. And when we're complaining about how they won a game, they have that feeling. Because even for me, someone that never experienced the Cowboys' dominance, I was raised in a household that only agreed on hating the Cowboys.
Yeah.
My family, my parents' marriage, great. But in terms of the sports fandom, Giants, Eagles, the only thing we came together on was rooting against the Cowboys.
Are terrible. Right.
And to hear a Cowboys fan that broken is just a glorious, glorious thing. And to hear Skip that broken over it is honestly a glorious thing, too. He put on a Hurts jersey the other day to do a video.
Well, they've crowned him. He has crowned the Eagles.
I do feel like it's part of a reverse jinx that I don't like. But it is nice to hear him so broken. And it's nice to know that even when we're this upset, there is an entire subset. Like this country, honestly, is livid with us for a whole different reason.
Well, you mean Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Tush Push alone has a lot of.
Well, yeah, Tush Push aside. And I didn't do it. I apologize to our presenting sponsors of the weekly Tush Push segment where we play the coach's sound from the other team. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow.
Push, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. This week in Tush Push commentary, we have Dan Campbell.
Exactly. Let's spin the wheel. I feel like Dan Campbell is he's not gonna feed that though.
No, he said he's a pro. He's a fan of it.
Yeah.
Shockingly, meathead Dan Campbell likes the Tush Push.
Known football guy. Known football guy.
Water is wet. Sky is blue. More at 11. Like
known football guy.
Yeah, of course he was going to like the Tush Push. Maybe he won some points with the guy coming up at 2. We'll see. But yeah, we'll get. I guess
does Colarulo not like Dan Campbell?
No. Don't even get me started. No, we're going to go to the AJ Brown conversation coming up next. All right. AJ Brown conversation coming up next. Because I want to get back to the text line, the engagement we got today. How do you divvy up the blame for the situation we found ourselves in, where we're talking about a 7-2 football team and an unhappy wide receiver? Is it AJ for the posts? Is it the offense? The answer is always you have to divide it up some way, but how do you divide up that blame? Alongside Amy Frugal, I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Finding a steady offense. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Despite wintry conditions and heavy traffic, holidays must go on. That's why Mercedes-Benz SUVs comes with the latest safety technology. Find incredible offers at Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. Week 11 of the NFL season begins, and the Eagles are preparing to take on the Lions Sunday night. The Birds have struggled to find consistent offense, and A.J. Brown has made it known that he is not too happy with it, but quarterback Jalen Hurts is ready to turn the page.
Got the Detroit Lions. I'm going to definitely put a halt to that. The more we drive that, the more of a distraction it becomes. And I think ultimately it's about the group. We are who we are as a team. We're all we got and we're all we need.
A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts will try to lead the offense to victory against the Lions right here in Lincoln Financial Field Sunday night. In the NHL, Flyers are off tonight after taking a 2-1 loss to the Oilers in overtime. The puck drops again for the Fly Guys Friday at 8 p.m. against the Blues in St. Louis. In the NBA, Sixers are off tonight, but will tip off again at 7:30 p.m. in Detroit to take on the Pistons. This update is also brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that is built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. I'm Patricia Caputo on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
97.5 The Fanatic alongside Amy Fidul. I'm Ray Dunn. Middays without Marks today. Johnny Marks returns tomorrow. I feel bad for the folks in a little inside radio here. We always do the whole, no one listens for 4 hours. Audience constantly turning over. For those that have been listening for 4 hours, the handful of you there, I'm sorry that you've heard me make the same Middays without Marks joke three times.
It's not a joke. It's factually true.
Yeah, I guess. But after I said it that time, it was one of those,
You thought you hammered it.
Yeah.
Like a little too much.
The other night, we didn't get to play it because I guess the ESPN Plus link has just disappeared. I may or may not have dropped a 6-7 reference on the broadcast because the opportunity presented itself. Mark was asking.
As one should.
Yeah, Mark was asking if there was a guy that was, you think, well, where does he fit between being 6'5", and I thought he was going 6'7", he was going to make the joke, and he was like 6'5", 6'9", like, what, how tall do you think he is? I was like, probably about 6'7". And producer was like, oh, come on, Ray. And I was like, well, I had to have second thought in my head of do I have any dignity left? And the answer was no. So I threw it out there and went for it. Yeah, exactly.
6'7".
Yeah. I think I'm over it. I think it.
It's not about you being over
I know. I think it probably should have ended with Vilma in the booth with Trump. But I think now that I've done it on the ESPN Plus broadcast, I think it's officially over.
You think it jumped the shark?
I think once I catch on to it, I think it's officially over.
So that's what, that was the thought process. I was on with Andrew, and I said that that's what we were for Halloween.
Right, to end it.
7. That would be the way to end it.
Yeah.
So you kind of really, when the parents are involved.
Right.
The
joke's over.
No.
The fun's over.
Nope.
Yeah. So I think I've also hit that age where when I get into something, it's probably over. I'm not I had to have it 6'7" explained to me. That was a problem.
There is no explanation for it. That's the silly thing.
Right, but that was the thing. I didn't get it. And once you get to the point where you don't get it off the jump, it probably means by the time you get to it, it's already
done. It's already
over.
done.
So, not that I'm old, but I've noticed I've advanced into another age of life here.
You have an older vibe.
I just can't be bothered to do things. I just can't. Like dating on weekends. I just can't.
That's not the same thing.
Charging your phone.
Charging my phone. That's a great example. See? Now Patricia gets the show.
No, she
now she understands
pointing
this.
out that that's nonsense.
Committing too much to a bit? Probably.
Says the guy. It says midday without Marks.
Yeah. All right. So to wrap up where we got to today, real quick, on the text line, let's get back to a couple of texts on the blame because you can't put it squarely on AJ for where we're at. That's ignoring the just context of where we got to. This offense, you haven't enjoyed watching it. I haven't enjoyed watching it on a consistent basis. We've had glimpses where it's been fun. Second half against the Rams where they said, bleep it, let's just go after it. And Hurts after that game says, we got to play to win, not play not to lose. The Buccaneers beginning of that game, loved it. I thought I was going to be cruising into a Monday show. That's going to be great. Then the second half happens. The Vikings second half, that was nice. The Giants game was great. It was the Giants, but the Giants game was great. And the glimpses you've had have been nice. But to get that consistently is what we're looking for. And that's why A.J. Brown's looking for what he's looking for. I don't love the means in which he's doing what he's doing, but I understand why. I understand his frustrations. And that's why one social media post a week until he's top 25 in receiving yards in the NFL. Once you're top 25, they've done your job.
Can you remind the nice folks out there what number he is right now?
50th.
50th.
Trey Tucker. I almost called him Trey Turner.
I almost called him Tanya Tucker.
Trey Turner probably has as many targets as A.J. Brown had on Monday night. I wonder what Trey Turner's up to today.
Yeah, hanging out.
But we wanted to divvy up the blame of how we got to where we're going on day 1,000 of the A.J. Brown conversation. Patricia, what do we got on the text line?
All right, here's some percentages that do not blame the media, which is nice, I guess. A good offensive coordinator does not have to install plays for playmakers. He should already have them. 50% Patullo, Hurts 30%, Brown 10%, Sirianni 10%. Jason from Pennsylvania.
Okay, so I think there's more to go to A.J. Brown, for sure. Patullo, honestly, the 50% is a little high for me at this point. Early in the season, I could get behind that. At this point, with how risk-averse I feel Hurts is out there.
Yeah.
His percentage, it might be a 30-30-30-10 for Sirianni. And Sirianni, it's just because you entrusted Patullo. And, this is, your culture. But ultimately, Patullo's calling the plays. Hurts is the one throwing it, and AJ's the one that's posting about it. Like, Sirianni, to me, Sirianni gets a little bit of more of a pass than the rest of the guys because, and honestly, AJ, after this week, I might drop him to a 20. Maybe I got like a 40, 20-20 split there, where it's Patullo, Hurts, 40-40, Brown, 20, Sirianni, 20.
Okay.
Because Sirianni empowered it and has built into the culture. We want to be risk-averse. Hurts embodies it entirely. Patullo's the one calling it. And AJ, you're still out there on Twitch with your friend saying it's a bleep show. It is just a conversation. Yes, if you missed that earlier, he called the Twitch stream just a conversation with his friend. Thus, every show going forward for us is just a conversation with friends, and you can't hold me liable for anything I've said. For example, Jordan Love is a good quarterback. I can't be held liable for that anymore.
So KP has 40%, Hurts 20, Sirianni 20, AJ 20?
Oh, yeah. I had way too many percentage points there. I did.
That's why I wrote it down.
30-30, 20-20.
Okay.
So Hurts a Patullo at this point. I need more.
Okay.
All right, we got another text?
We do. Joe from West Philadelphia says, the problem a passing day coordinator, offensive coordinator who can't get the ball to his best receiver, or do we have a problem with the quarterback who has a blind eye for his best receiver? Will we ever find out?
I don't think we have enough easy gimme routes to get him going. And the scripted plays they did, they had 2 targets early on in that game.
Right.
And they were not anything down the field, not anything ridiculous. Those were there. So when they're thinking about the game plan, they're doing it. It's the matter of going back to it later on in the game that doesn't feel like they do. And Hurts, when he gets to the risk-averse moment, doesn't feel like he's doing that either. So that's why I kind of go to those 2 guys more than I go to A.J. Brown on this whole thing. I do love that we got a YouTube comment. Ray, that's 120%.
I know. That's why I wrote it down. I was like,
I said it earlier. Hey, I was good at English class.
All right.
It was math that not exactly math it for me. I mean, to be fair, I did pretty good in school, so I can't really.
I'm sorry. Was that a humble brag there?
Well, they like to bring up my SAT score. I don't, but they like to. The YouTube chat does.
How do they even know it?
Well, because it came up back in the day.
It's not.
I've been on the air too long. They've gotten to know it too well.
There is no world that would ever need to come up. But I appreciate that you put it out there.
It's Sports Talk Radio. The talk part of that does a lot of the heavy lifting.
Okay.
All right, coming up. Speaking of talk in the Sports Talk Radio, feedback.
Speaking of SAT.
We got feedback coming up in the next segment. We will wrap this bad boy up. It is Middays without Marks. Amy Fadula, myself, Ray Dunn in for Johnny Marks today. Coming up, the final segment with us here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Welcome back. Final segment here on Middays with Mark. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. Johnny Marks returns tomorrow, breaking down Lions, Birds. Sunday Night Football, which for me doing the pregame show means I can watch the 1 o'clock window at home and relax, which a lot of people have been subjected to over the last couple weeks, which has been nice.
Right.
I have not had that luxury of sitting at home and just watching the 1 o'clock window for a while. Part of the pregame nature, part of the bye week. I had things going on that Sunday. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to do nothing. I don't know what exactly the Sunday night plans will be for me. I don't know how I filled my calendar with that one. Does it feel like a Sunday night in or a Sunday night out?
Well, since you in.
In.
You're a bars guy.
I mean, I have NBC on my television, so that helps.
It's true.
I didn't have ESPN this week.
I think it's in.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's like it's still going to be like somewhat warm-ish.
Walk home will be a little cold because I'm not going away where I can Uber. I'm not trying to get stuck in the midst of everything, especially for a home game. Always ends up being just if you're an Uber driver, I feel like you want to get down to the stadiums,
right,
make the money off the ones,
exactly.
the people that are trying to go back to the burbs. Yeah, because you sit there. It's not. I guess it's not like taxi where you're just rolling money-wise, but still with the fixed rate, it's going to be very expensive.
I would think, yeah, you'll be able to make a pretty good bank, I would think.
Yeah.
Down there.
Yeah. Well, once Patricia takes my job, maybe that's what I'll go do.
We'll have free time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised I made it this far. Patricia, you've done the YouTube comments have been tremendous on the feedback we've gotten from you. We're going to get to our feedback coming up. I don't know if there's anything in there about Patricia. I'm worried there's going to be more about me in there and what the people learned about me in the 12 o'clock hour. But we'll get to that in 1 second.
The red flags.
Yes. To put a bow on this entire thing, where I'm at with A.J. Brown. I don't like the means of which he's doing what he's doing. But at this point, he is so justified with the way this offense has been inconsistent and the fact they're not targeting him that I am willing to give him one singular post on social media every week until they have him in the top 25 in receiving. Thus, it puts pressure on the offense to get the ball to him, and it gives us an end date for having to have this conversation about cryptic messages. That is the end goal here. He ends up being fed. The offense ends up being better because he's being fed, and eventually I don't have to talk about what he's posting on social media. Everybody wins. It's a win-win-win.
Yeah, I don't think that's...
No, it probably won't work out like that. But I could tell you next week when he posts something on TikTok, I'm going to be understanding.
Because I get it.
I'll be like, all right, you know what? He's still not top 25 in receiving. Now, if he's top 25 in receiving after this week, he set a record.
Well, I would say something's gone really
incredibly right. So there you go. That's where I'm at. And to the people because I see the Hurts conversation that's happening on our YouTube chat. My thing with Hurts right now, and it goes back to philosophy, it goes back to the offensive coordinator, it goes back to the head coach, the risk-averse nature of this offense and the risk-averse nature of this quarterback.
Yes.
If you're going 3 and out, on third down, feel free to air it out down the field to one of
that
the
is a punt.
Best receivers exactly in football. You were so willing to do it on 4th and 6. Why not maybe 3rd and 12? Will Shipley, you seem like a nice guy. All right, you had a couple of nice runs in there. I don't want to take any food off of your table, but guess what? I don't watch this offense for 3rd and 12 Will Shipley draws.
No. Or any draw let's be honest. On a 3rd and 12?
Right. Again, with all due respect to you, you're a fine NFL player. On 3rd and 12,
that's why
in a Philadelphia Eagles football game.
That's why that's larger percentage to Kevin Patullo.
Yeah. Well, even then, like some of the third down choices, like, we're just going to dump it off the sink one here. It's like, well, is that quarterback driven as well? Or, hey, here's AJ going over the middle on a second down. That gets us into a 3rd and long. And it's like, I don't want to mess with that. We'll see what we can do in 3rd down, protect the football. Like, you start to walk backwards. That's all I'm saying. I just want to see you take a chance. You know?
Well, I think it's not just it is taking a chance, but it's taking a chance more often.
Right.
They always say risk averse. I mean, averse means that you're shy away from it.
Yeah.
Not run the opposite direction from any kind of maybe risky play. And since when is it risky to throw the ball further than 10 yards down the field?
That's also part
like,
of
I
this.
get that it's not like a higher percentage, but it's not risky. You have a very good quarterback who is able to throw. This is not Russell Wilson back there that you're wondering if his arm's going to fall off.
And I see, all right, YouTube chat. You must not watch football because the cowardly draw happens all the time. There's a lot of things that happen all the time in life that I hate. The cowardly draw happens to be one of them. I hit traffic every morning. It's not that I don't expect to hit traffic. It's that I still loathe it. When I see the cowardly draw, I expect it. I still loathe it.
Yeah, it's just like, it's so, well.
I would love that 76 to have 3 lanes. It doesn't.
It's so,
I would love for the Eagles to go down the field. They don't.
It's so expected, and that's the thing that I think it makes it so irritating. It is so expected.
Right.
And, it was not that long ago where we heard things like, vanilla offense and predictable.
More vanilla than the ice cream Johnny Marks is eating right now with his daughter after she gets her tonsils out. All right, let's get to feedback.
Now, it's time for feedback.
How about filling us in? I can't lie!
Email us at 975feedback at 975thefanatic.com.
Say it! Let me tell you something!
Or text us at 610-632-0975.
Let me tell you something else, man.
It's feedback on Middays with Marks.
All right, what do we got, Patricia?
All right, here's the first one.
I agree with AJ. Why have all these weapons and then have an offensive coaching staff who doesn't know how to use them? This offense should be electric. It should be unstoppable. Pair that with this defense that's playing really well, and we should be talking about another Super Bowl. Instead, we are talking about Twitch and social media posts. Sean from New Jersey.
Sean from New Jersey, I had to learn who Janky Rondo was.
Janky Rondo.
That's where we're at. This offense forced me to learn who Janky Rondo was. I do sound old. Now that you say that, I do sound like an old man. I should know that.
What is this Twitch?
I know it. I Twitch streamed before. I like a little NCAA 13 Twitch stream with people.
Janky Rondo has 203,000 subscribers.
And very successful. There are plenty of successful people I have no idea
Rondo,
about.
and he's just the janky version of him. I don't know.
More we could dive into. All right, what else we got?
I blame Nick Sirianni for this A.J. Brown situation. His insistence on this overly conservative approach on offense has put a lid on this offense and has made the quarterback gun shy. Jalen is so afraid to make a mistake that he's reluctant to throw to him unless he's wide open. C from Bucks County.
Real chicken or the egg here thing.
Yeah.
Is it the coaching staff that makes you risk averse, or is it the quarterback being risk averse that makes the coaching staff adapt to it? I think it's baked into the culture of what they want to do.
Exactly. I think everything that they think about offensively,
Comes from that.
They know what quarterback is going to be risk averse. So I think that's how.
Yeah. The point is, take a chance. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Michael Jordan, Michael Scott, Radon. Wayne Gretzky also in there at some point. Just take the shot. That's basically what I'm saying. Next one.
Yes, there is an issue with AJ. However, the media is creating content. Bottom line, there are many facets, and if AJ isn't open, then Hurts is going to find somebody else. John in Horsham.
John, do you believe that A.J. Brown hasn't been open this season at all? Do you think that he has not been open to the extent of getting 2 catches for 13 yards? Do you believe he hasn't been open to the level of being the 50th receiver in receiving yards of football?
Yeah, I mean, that's where that argument is going to fall flat.
I'm not even dividing up blame today if AJ didn't go on Twitch. We're just talking about how the offense needs to find AJ the ball more. That's really what it comes down to. If you don't call the offensive bleep show on Twitch, we're guns a-blazing on what do Patullo, Sirianni, and Hurts have to do to get AJ Brown the football.
Right.
That's the conversation today. But it's different because he decided to call the offensive bleep show, said that you should drop him in fantasy, which Amy Fadul might, and you're going to do it.
He was on the bench last week, I can tell you that much. In what world is A.J. Brown on my fantasy bench?
This one.
Yes, exactly.
This one.
The reality.
Right. All right, what else we got?
Great. Thanks a lot, Patricia. I just completed the English version of Rosetta Stone, and now I have to update my resume. Sean Rodman from the local furry convention.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Come on.
Wow.
Who's taking a shot at Rodman like that?
I don't know, man.
That had to be
The local furry convention.
Yeah,
that's a little much.
That's a YouTube chat and Sean Rodman back and forth. Who did that? I mean, we need names here. That's either Nate, Brandon, one of them in the back. I saw Nate lurking in the YouTube chat. Nate coming after Sean Rodman right now. Are we going to have associate producers battling?
Maybe.
Like
that should be a segment next week.
Just Rodman and Nate just
toe to toe,
dueling one another. We're gonna it's associate producer wars. They're in the back right there. We're not gonna have a phone answered here because the two of them are gonna be too busy strangling each other.
Special weekend show, maybe.
I'm just assuming that's Nate that put that in there. If it was Brandon, good work by Dutsy hiding that one through everyone. But taking a shot at Sean Rodman there. That's show on show right there. That's
show on show crime.
That's a missile shot at the morning show right there. All right, what do you got?
Ray, I have the perfect girl for you. She's an ER nurse. You'll never see each other. Colby from the YouTube chat.
Was that our last one? Oh, we have one more? All right, let's play one more.
We'll go back to that, circle back.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that one.
Patricia is showing everyone how it's done today. Sean and Nate, please come to my office before you guys leave. Scott from down the hall.
Oh, man. I don't think that was Scott.
I don't think that was Scott.
But I'm very curious who back there also had that.
I would think one is...
Dutsy taking that?
Yeah, I would think one is one.
Man. Yeah, Patricia, you did a fantastic job today. A great job. First air shift, which is insane. One, just to be, back in my day, they buried in the middays and killed it. Did a tremendous job. The updates were great. News at Noon was great. Just a wonderful job by you, Patricia.
Thank you, guys. I had some good teachers.
Yeah, I'm already fearing for my job. Yeah, Savon did a great job training you. I'm already fearing for my job. But
you should.
Nate and Sean, I guess they're both acknowledging big losses for them today.
Apparently, they've also been wildly pipped.
Yeah.
But they're here, so I don't know.
Yeah, they're here. We only have a few seconds left, so I can't really go into the story about the not seeing the person that you're seeing thing. So that's really unfortunate for everyone. I guess we ran out of time. I can't tell that story. I have to save that one for another day. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Johnny Marks back tomorrow. Harry Mays with him. Looking forward to that. Amy, always a pleasure working with you.
Thank you, guys.
Patricia, great job today. That's all we got for Middays with Marks. For Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. Hope to talk to you again real soon right here. 97.5 The Fanatic.
NHL Flyers are off tonight after taking a 2-1 loss to the Oilers. The puck drops again for the Fly Guys Friday at